And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos coming out tomorrow for your viewing and listening pleasure, it's the state of pro wrestling for February/March for 2026. Right there for you, because also as well, you got the stuff going on with the Elimination Chamber from the WWE right there at the end of February. How will that lead into the road to WrestleMania? We talk about that, John Orlando and I, plus also as well, we talk about AEW at a certain individual point as far as ticket sales for both AEW and WWE, and also as well the real world violence hindering what's going on with the CMLL and Lucha Libre, and will that stop the hot streak for CMLL? We'll talk about that, all that and more right there for you on the State of Pro Wrestling, coming up for you on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcast, starting tomorrow morning as well. I want to go ahead and mention that to you. Plus also as well, I host the Lakers latest show for the Fan Arc Network. I'm going to be dropping another very interesting Lakers latest. Stress, calm down, stressed out, Lakers stressing you out. Everybody take a deep breath and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Because the Lakers are getting everyone stressed with the way they're playing and the way they're being coached, the way they're being run. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got a good one for you tomorrow morning on Lakers Latest as well. Right there, part of the Fan Arc Network. And if you don't know where it's at, that's okay. In the notes section on this channel, the Lakers Fast Break, I pop in there exactly where you can find the latest episodes of Lakers Latest when they pop up tomorrow morning as well. And speaking of the notes section, if you take a look, I have thought at length about what the Lakers should be doing, the major questions that they should be pondering for the future, and step one in that process, what to do about Austin Reeves. I put a big article on the notes section, so go ahead and get a chance to read it or hear my thoughts on the latest Lakers latest as well. Tough, yes, I should. Yes, I would charge if I'm just a therapist for Lakers fans, I would charge and get quite a bit, and I would probably get a lot of feedback, get a lot of customers, because this team is very stressful for you guys out there. I can feel the stress, I can feel the pain coming from you, and I'm there right there with you. I'm right there with you. So everybody, one more time. Inhale, exhale. All right. LeBron is to blame. That one, Laravia was in the key and let Royce O'Neal shoot that one. I don't know how LeBron gets the blame on that one. He went for the block inside, but I guess he is the blame once again. Again, with certain people, it is Luka. No matter what Luka does, Luka can walk on water and Luka will still be the blame. And LeBron, he can be the blame. He can walk on water. He can do the same thing. On that last play, Laravia was the guy caught out too far into the lane. And yeah, absolutely. It's right there. Although that was LeBron's man initially coming off the pass, but somebody should have gotten out to him sooner, but both Laravia and LeBron both went for the block. LeBron was already up near the rim, so what could you say? I mean, Laravia should have gotten out there faster against that position because he was initially guarding out on the top of the key. If you checked out that last play, it's available on Twitter, and of course I retweeted out there at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. But the Lakers tonight trying to get off the schneid, heading into Phoenix. Rui out with an illness, but Jackson Hayes was a go heading into the game, and it looked like from what we were seeing, because the Suns, just like they were playing all week, they did not have Devin Booker in there. They did not have Dylan Brooks in there. Their two top scorers not in the lineup tonight as they faced off against the Los Angeles Lakers coming in there. What would the Lakers do? Well, they didn't get off to, well, they got off to a pretty good start, 27-22, but they gave it back up in the second quarter. They climbed back into it, traded back and forth right there at halftime, 49-49. In that third quarter, though, third quarter provided some hope for the Lakers, at least we thought, because they got out to a 70-58 lead in that third quarter. And think, hey, the offense is starting to click. Defense is there, doing a couple good things here and there. Thought things would be good as far as it's concerned, but we talked about this the other day with the Lakers. With Boston the other day, they had a double digit on the Lakers, and they stomped on the Lakers and increased that lead. The Lakers, the next time they went out there, had a double digit lead on Orlando and didn't get it done. And the same thing happened again with the Lakers holding a double digit lead in that third quarter, giving it up, including a 13-0 run in the fourth quarter, having to have the Lakers come back and storm back with a comeback to tie it up at 110. And it came down to a final two plays where the Lakers once again gave up a three to Royce O'Neal and couldn't get it back on the other end with 1 second left. And the Lakers lose once again. Irritates me to no end, but I'm here for you. I will stay calm so you can vent with me. 113-110. The Lakers are now one game away from the plan. Let me stress that again. One game away from the plan in the Western Conference. And it's really quite concerning. And if you are concerned, because the Lakers had their big three, they've had their big three. There's not an excuse of injuries. They are playing with their big three players. And the blame is going to get tossed all around. And you know what? Again, it's still deserved. And Rob Pelinka and Andrew Friedman, they're out there watching the game in Phoenix, feeling all happy before the game. Oh, everything's great. Well, no, it's not great. And whatever this restructured front office is, should not include Rob Pelinka. I don't care that he has now got 15 people overseeing him. I don't care about that. It should not include Rob Pelinka, because we have such a mediocre team right now, and they are not playing up to level. They cannot even win on the road, which they've been better at than at home all season. And so again, they lose 113-110, 34-24 on the season. Right now, they are, again, one game out of the play-in. And for a team that could have been 2 weeks ago in line, if everything worked out right, to get into third place in the Western Conference, they're now squarely looking down the barrel of a seventh place finish in the Western Conference if they keep on at it. But you guys, while we're waiting for some guys to arrive, John Costa will not be here tonight, but hoping that Joe is right over there. Joe, I've got 2 words for you. Shut up, Joe. You're the one that loves the front office for Brad Stevens. You're the one that's come on this show and talked about your love for the Boston Celtics front office, your love for the entire Boston Celtics roster. And if they weren't in green, Gerald, if they weren't in green, I remember you telling me specifically, if they weren't in green, Gerald, if they weren't green, man, they would be like, you are the one that was getting all hot and bothered over them. So don't start that, my friend, because I go down that road better than you can. So get on this show and start open up your trap about what's going on with the Lakers, my friend. But again, a good team and a not so good team. They when they get out to a double digit lead, they finish the teams off. And this team right now, as we can see by the point differential, as we can see from the 3 straight losses, is not playing good right now. So I'm not here to give anybody a bunch of BS, Joe. So you want to get on the show, get on the show. You know the link. I already gave it to you hours ago. Let's see if you can read your email and get your butt right here on the show to talk some smack, because people want to hear you rant. They want to hear your stuff. So go ahead and get your butt on this show as soon as you can. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Don't tell me that, because he has praised Boston well, much more than I have. So much so that I was going to check to see if he has a 4-leaf clover sitting somewhere in his office. So there you go. So don't give that. Don't give that to me, Joe, because I'll give it right back to you, to you, to you. Yes. John. Yes, Joe says John Costa won't be here tonight. He asked to John Costa for no reason. Where's my LBJ jersey? I don't know. So I don't have one. I have I have a couple t-shirts in the house. I have of course, from my man Drip Show, just like I have this here. I have 2 canvas arts. He sent me a LeBron canvas art. Go ahead and make sure you stop on by at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. So Eduardo, again, LeBron, he was initially guarding Royce O'Neal on that last minute play, but when he went to help out and go for the block, Laravia was slow to transition over and defend that 3. And again, if you want to put it on LeBron, by all means, but still, tonight a terrible performance overall for him, though. 7 of 16 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. At this point, he should just stop shooting threes because he's absolutely terrible at it. Right now, he is one of his worst years, if not his worst year shooting at 3. Just give it up at this point in time. But 15 points for him only. Luka Doncic, 41, 8, and 8. A very efficient 41, 8, and 8 for him after this evening. But Austin Reeves struggling as well. 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. The guy who I talked about on the latest Lakers latest, the guy who I wrote about in my column here in the notes section for this channel. Austin Reeves, the guy who's looking to get paid, is not helping us out as well either, and not providing as much within this big 3 type offense. Marcus Smart, 13 points for him. DeAndre Ayton, after a game where, you know what, right there, played okay, but gave up a lot of offensive rebounds on the previous game. Today, it was just the fact that he was just not there. 2 points in 23 minutes. I don't know, just basically looking for him because he was just providing nothing for the Lakers today. Jake LaRavia, again, outside of that miscue, 11 points for him off the bench. Only 25 points off the bench for the Lakers. Once again, one of the worst bench producing teams in the NBA, if not the worst. So Jared Vanderbilt, 0 points for him. Luke Kennard, 8 points. Jackson Hayes, 6 coming back from his injury. But yeah, overall, just again, to be up 70 to 58 in the third quarter, and they let it go. They let it go indeed. But let's hear what you guys have to say. John says, I really dislike this team, Gerald. I don't think I've ever dreaded watching a sports team as much as I dreaded watching this poor excuse for an NBA team. And this is a team that's still above 500, but this is the expectations we as Lakers fans have. And to see this kind of ineptitude is there, but I'm not going to let JJ Redick off the hook, John. But I agree. You're preaching to the choir on that one. This is a truly substandard team, and it's even below a lot of our expectations, because if for those who had the team 4th or 5th in the Western Conference finishing, this is now even below that plateau. And it could get even worse because they could be finding themselves in the play-in by the time the weekend's over, which is absolutely depressing. JJ letting the other team go on a 13-0 run and did not call a timeout during that period of time. I don't know what he was thinking. They gave up a 12-point lead. They also went ahead and gave up that 13-0 run in the fourth quarter. I just don't know where his head is at. I don't know why he didn't pull the trigger on the timeout. It just seemed like he was just watching it all happen and doing his best Darvin Ham impersonation by keeping his hands in his pockets. And it just looked like he had no clue how to stop the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, who didn't even have their two top scorers today. But again, a lot of the blame is going to be going around. And again, it is what it is. But looky who decided to crawl into the web. It is, of course, the good man indeed. We go at each other, but it's all in good fun. It is a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out Sinblades, Sinblades with a Y.com. Also, as well, check out the Joe Soro experiment. See, we insult each other, but I still give him his props and his plugs. It is, of course, the Joe Soro experiment. Joe Soro himself is here. Joe, good to have you here. The Lakers, another disappointing performance, questionable coaching decisions. The Lakers, again, despite everything that went on during the game, still had a 12-point lead in the third quarter. Same thing with Orlando. They had a double-digit lead in the third quarter and let the rope get away.
Well, they can't rebound. Until they rebound, they're gonna continue to be mediocre, and they really don't know what they're doing. It just looks like a bunch of YMCA type offensive sets, and that's the reality of that. I don't know what else. I just don't know what else to call it. We can sit here and blame everything on the planet on this. I try to change it up. I was blaming Danny Green on the set of Sportsnet just so I could break up the monotony a little bit. I don't know what the hell. I don't know why. There's a difference between Sportsnet LA and Sportsnet Lakers, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Like, do they just purposely find the worst analysts and just throw them to the Lakers? Because baseball is supposed to be the hardest sport to actually analyze. You have to know a lot of crap. There are things I still don't know, and I've watched billions of games in baseball. So I'm listening to Danny Green for about, and again, the reason why I come in later into the show is it enhances the show when I actually have a chance to know some information after the game. That's why I do that. The Lakers are 11-16 against teams over 500. You think that's going to change soon? They lost the last 3 against Phoenix, right? And by the way, does Devin Booker play basketball anymore? Every time I see him, every time the Lakers play Phoenix, he's never playing.
Must be a good gig if you can get it. Phoenix weather, golf everywhere, and the fact you're going to get paid over $70 million in the last 2 years of your contract. Must be nice.
I don't. I'm trying to figure out. The Lakers had a formula starting in 2020 with this 3 happy league. I thought their defense that year and even in 2021 was phenomenal in terms of how they guarded the 3. I thought they were going to change the culture like Steph changed the culture, right? But I don't know if that's going to happen. Is the league rules not going to allow it? Do these guys really practice enough to be able to do that? The game sucks, and it shouldn't suck. I mean, it was an exciting game, right? It was close. Last 2 games have been close. So I'm kind of caught in this middle of, well, it was entertaining, but the game sucks. So how does that make any sense?
Sort of like an oxymoron there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not that. Maybe the game doesn't suck. It's just the Lakers suck at the important parts of the game to win. But then it does suck that guys like Devin Booker aren't playing and SGA's not playing. Like, it there isn't really any. It's become, in a lot of ways, become the NFL. Is there really a star in the NBA right now? Like a bona fide star, like a LeBron James when he was really at his peak.
Right now,
I mean, Jokic has an interesting, again, back to the statistics of the game, right? Like
Wemby's
things that you
getting
learn.
there.
So here's an interesting stat I found out yesterday. You know who the leading point scorer is in the 2020s?
Who is it?
Jokic.
We've talked about him already. We've
Right?
both
I'm
we
not done
both
yet.
have said that
Not
he's
done
the
yet.
best player of this
Yes.
decade.
Yes. I'm not done yet. You know who the leading rebounder is in the 20s?
That would be Jokic.
You know who the leading assist man in the 20s is?
That would definitely be Jokic.
You know who the leading steals man is in the 20s?
Jokic as well.
Yes. He is this is not 2023. This is 2026. One guy is leading 4 of the 5 major, and that the hilarious part is he's a center, and it wasn't the blocking stat. That's the hilarious part about this too. Like if you would have guessed which stat after maybe points, you would have probably guessed blocks, right? Because he's a center. No, that's the one stat out of the big 5 that he doesn't have in his pocket right now in the 20s. And through all of that, Gerald, this is why the discussion of, and I'm getting to a point here, the discussion of what actually is greatness right now. Because if Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem or Shaq or David Robinson or anyone in any decade led in 4 of the 5 major statistics in the NBA, would there be any doubt that that person wasn't an obvious number 1? So I don't know if stats really matter anymore. I don't know. I think Jokic is amazing, but I still can't connect. I still can't connect Jokic in the top 10. You're telling me Jokic is better than, or is going to be in that area? Like, who the hell are you going to move out of the 10? Who? You got Wilt, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. I just named 7. I don't even have Dr. J in there yet. I don't have Hakeem in there yet. I don't have Karl Malone in there yet. John Stockton. I mean, it's like, so when I heard that stat, I don't know what it was. It just kind of clicked of I think we are witnessing, as great as Jokic is, my eyes, I can't pick him over Olajuwon. I can't pick him over Wilt, even though I didn't see him play. I definitely can't pick him over Shaq. Would he play Shaq better in this era? Maybe. How would Shaq translate in this era? Because Shaq already struggled with pick and roll in an era of half-court offense.
Well, you would just name every team after him, just call them drop coverage, because that's what he'd be doing.
It would drop coverage.
It would be drop coverage every time. Or zone.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem with that, though. In this era, if that were if that was the case, then you would put all your money on the Lakers. If he was with the Lakers, obviously, you'd have to put all your money. The Lakers would have more wide open threes than any team in NBA history at that point. No one would be able to guard the Lakers anywhere. See, I had this discussion with some friends because I asked the question, and then as I was asking the question, I started realizing what was going to happen should that end up being the solution to stopping Shaq. Okay, drop coverage. Okay, shade a guy, because now you can play zone versus before 2002 you couldn't, right? So, but what happens when you drop 2 more guys on him? Because 2 double teams didn't work. Triple teams sometimes didn't work, but triple teams can maybe work out if you have enough size. Portland did that. So did Sacramento to a degree, but they were more finesse. They could hit shots and draw Shaq out more. But even with those teams ran out of gas at some point. And with these bunch of daisies, it would be even worse. These guys are softer than wet toilet paper, right? So I'm in no man's land on how to analyze what I'm watching, other than sticking to the basics of, is this team ever going to rebound and ever play one-on-one fucking defense? You suck at any kind of zone or switch. How about you just play man on man? You guys are not athletic enough to do that? You don't think Laravia's athletic enough,
team
maybe?
that they played tonight was not more athletic to the point where they couldn't do that, Joe.
They were just running around. So what is it? You guys can't run around? By the way, that inbounds play was the best inbounds play in the J.J. Redick era, by the way.
Yeah, the people.
If Austin had made that shot and they won the game, he would have gotten the game ball, in my view.
But he didn't.
Oh, I wanted to mention this too. So there were two things that happened tonight. Jordan Ott, got to give him props, coach of the Phoenix Suns, former assistant coach of the Lakers, of course. A lot of assistant coaches have become head coaches. Have you noticed that, Gerald, in the last decade? Anyways,
the best Lakers.
Jordan Ott did two things that when you see it, you're just like,
yeah.
Oh. He called it. He when they were inbounding the ball, he called a timeout because he had seen what they were trying to run. Right. So that was an old school thing that I always loved, checking out what the offense is doing. Now, it didn't work out in that particular situation, but I like the thinking. The other was when they were inbounding the ball and they had Grayson Allen go to the end of the earth to make sure they got the ball. Gee, what a concept that is, right? The little things matter, and look what it did. When you do little things like that, because they ended up scoring on that same series, by the way. Those little things, look what it does. Look what it does. Even though it was a great inbounds pass, even though Austin got a good shot off, it still was enough stress based off the prep, based off, in that moment, calling a timeout. Oh, we know what they're going to run. It still meant a result that was positive for them. So those are the things that I'm praying and hoping that this team can create after this wasted year is really what this is turning into. And the disdain of management, the disdain of just the overall culture of the Lakers it roots in things like this. It roots in the inability to not be able to have maybe the mentality of being great, being good. And I'm trying not to compare everything to the Dodger thing, but it's an LA thing too, right? And because there's a correlation with ownership, I have to now at this point.
They were there in Phoenix tonight.
Yeah,
Friedman and Rob.
And I don't like the fact that I know he's working for the Guggenheims, but I don't like the fact. Well, he was there because obviously they have spring training in Camelback, so that makes sense that he was there.
Yes,
but I don't know. I feel like Andrew Friedman has more important things to do at this point than to chaperone Rob Pelinka.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes. I don't. The easiest thing would be to get rid of him now. But my guess is they want to wait a little bit so that Jeannie feels nice and cozy before maybe they harp on him enough in the next few months to where he quits. That's kind of what I'm hoping for right now. At some point, he will be gone. There's just no way I just don't see him being here that long. Anyways, I don't know.
I don't see it now either. I mean,
yeah,
this team is now getting to where
and it's
below even our expectations, Joe. It's now going below our expectations as well.
There's so much Oh God, I'm trying to explain this so it's not redundant. When you clean a diseased when you clean a diseased anything, there is no cleaning. It's you just got to kill it. You got to throw it away. You got to burn it. Not going to happen right until this thing is done. It's not going to end well. It's just not. And I don't even know if I can blame the players. Would you, other than, I mean, DeAndre Ayton is just being DeAndre Ayton, right?
The DeAndre Ayton experience. This is what
they
said,
is
and
Clinton
this is
Capella
what said that we would sign up for.
And they can't do anything, right? I mean, but why not? At this point, just go. Like if I'm JJ Redick, I'm in that locker room. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Saying what you said out of all this, you're the one standing around waiting for offensive rebounds to go to the other team. We're not making you do that. You're not even playing like Clinton Capella. You may be playing worse than him. At least Clinton Capella, when he was, able, was getting rebounds. The thing that they need you for is to make sure you get the ball back. And every time I'm seeing him shoot a ball now, he's missing. It's a diseased culture. And the only way to get rid of it is to clean it out. That's it. And it's going to get cleaned out. We just have to wait. But it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm just not I can't get this pit of my stomach out when I'm watching them play. They're just so bad at playing sound basketball. And some of these guys they have some talent. Like, what is the deal? What is their problem? You can blame JJ Redick all you want. Sure. Yeah, maybe he has some blame to it, but I don't know.
Tonight he did. Tonight, I want to put a lot of blame on him.
So what could he have done tonight?
Well, first of all, you got to figure out when you have a double-digit lead with 5.5 left in the third quarter, you got to figure out ways to go ahead and find ways to extend that lead. This is 2 times in a row where the Lakers have had a double-digit lead go, halfway into the third quarter and let it go. They just let it go. And in that fourth quarter, Joe, they went on a 13-0 run, and JJ was just watching. JJ's is instead of just stopping the momentum right away, he just let it happen. So that the Lakers would have to do the fake comeback and come all the way back from 12 points down, actually, just to have a miraculous chance to even get close to win the game in the clutch time, so to speak. I mean, people, again, they're going to go throw that clutch time record at us. Well, the Lakers, because of their inability to stretch out leads when they get them, that is a part of the reason why they have so many clutch games, Joe. And JJ Redick tonight, letting that 13-0 run happen, not stopping the momentum a lot sooner, that was a key point where the Lakers had to do everything they can just to get back in that game. You and I are on that island of JJ Redick. We're not fit for him. We weren't against him, but I'm slow. I'm not slowly. I'm now quickly starting to paddle my boat to JJ Fire Island.
I'm not going to get into firing and all that. I think it's so cliche to just go that way. This is a top to bottom problem. I just think the culture in LA for the Lakers is just not good.
Well, this is a problem. The entire organization right now.
But there's also a combination of the culture of the NBA too. You have a weak commissioner with a game that a lot of people are not really into, and then on top of that, you have the Lakers with this lifeless type game that can't close out. They have not. when was the last time this team was clutch? This team even turned Luka into a guy that's not clutch. That's the weird thing. This thing was here, and then it turned Luka into this. That's why I don't try to dog on Luka too much, because these issues were here before he got here. If this was Luka in year 3 and it was going on, that'd be like, yeah, this guy's not going to do it. He's not doing it. He's got to change something up. But there's nothing that's changed since the day we've got him. Like, nothing's changed. His stats are his stats. That's it. And that's why I brought up the Jokic thing. How does a guy drop 48-8 and still not win a game? That's nuts to me. And blaming LeBron James, yeah, I guess you can blame LeBron, but I'm not really blaming him on the court. I've been blaming really his aura, really his the atmosphere, the all-encompassing atmosphere. But see, that's this is your fault, the Lakers' fault, for putting this extra year on when they didn't need to a couple years back. What was the point of that? Why did it take Mark Walter to make an announcement that he's going to buy the team, and then they smarten up? You're telling me he didn't have a say in that? Because you could have been ahead of this by now, right? It would have worked out perfect. Because that's what it's going to need to. That's what it needs to be, and it's really not about the blame anymore. It's just I'm tired. We're tired of watching. We're tired of watching this team. It's not a fun team to watch. It's just not. Game was exciting, because it's close, but you're watching these guys. And I sent a video on our chat, I think it was this morning. This guy came out of the Orlando game, and he's like, these guys don't want to play defense. This was what he was saying. These guys don't want to play defense. And it's a lot easier to scope the atmosphere there in a game when you can actually see everything, right? Without the camera being kind of narrow on at home. But it just doesn't. These guys are they don't really care. No one cares. Not just a Laker problem. So, is the Mark Walter group going to create the care? I think they will. I just want them to get rid of the disease next to them. I know they probably have to make a deal. I get it. To make it, to get it done. So I get it. But the sooner this thing gets fixed, the better, hopefully. It's probably going to take a few years, because they got to, make them feel good during the transition. That's probably part of the deal. But I'm looking forward to that process, because I do believe it's going to happen. And once that happens, then I think we can start enjoying these games a little bit more.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 113-110. They're now 34-24, a game out of the play-in the Western Conference. Let me just say it again, a game out of the play-in the Western Conference. And also here today, good man indeed, he runs the I Got Next Sports Media channel. He was with me earlier this week on an NBA Observations. It is, of course, Legend, great to have you here. I don't know if you saw for one of your teams that you follow, the Atlanta Hawks, that they will have a tribute night coming up in mid-March for Magic City, Atlanta's famed strip club, with those chicken wings. I'm sure those chicken wings will be flying there, but guess who the opponent is? It is the Orlando Magic. So yes, thought that was fun. I think that is a really hilarious promotion.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious how they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. But your thoughts on the game? Again, the big three, there's just no excuses anymore that we can say at this point. Because again, you have virtually your entire team there. You have your big three. This is what you envisioned when you started out the season. Yet when they're all together, they don't look like they can all click at the same time. They don't win against 500 or better teams at a very high clip. It is just not looking really good at this point in time.
Yeah, this Big Three experience has pretty much been a disaster. It had its moments to look good, but I think at this point it's pretty obvious it just ain't gonna work. And it's probably best for LeBron to pack it up and head to either Cleveland or wherever you plan to go to. Because I think his time in LA it looked like it's over. It looks like this trio have, you tried it, it just ain't going anywhere. And this team would benefit more with him probably leaving. And then the other thing I would probably say too is I think the whole Aiden experience has pretty much went the way I kind of thought it was probably going to happen too. Seen it happen in Phoenix, seen it happen in Portland, and now it's happening in LA too. Welcome to the DeAndre Ayton suites. That's how it works. So I guess he is what he is. So I don't know what else you can do to make a guy get his motor right and play ball, and now you complaining about being compared to Clint Capella and stuff. So it's been pretty much a disaster. I almost feel like it's like a ship with holes, just starting to just poking and slowly sinking. I don't know what to say at this point. It's like it keep getting lower and lower every day.
Absolutely, and it continues with a 3-game losing streak. Again, great to have you here, legend. Of course, it is the Lakers losing once again, 113 to 110. Joe, Frank, great to have you here. Frank, as we used to say. Great to have you here. Again, he's a big-time Dallas follower, but he has a good point, Joe. He says, Joe, if it takes the Lakers a few years, as what your words just said, to become a true contender in the NBA, do you think Luka will be content staying in LA by then? He says no.
Well, where's he going to go? We'd have to demand a trade.
Do you think he might?
Where?
I can't foresee the future, so I wouldn't know where exactly, but he's going to average 33, 8, and 8. And if the team is going to be still stuck in purgatory like it's seemingly looking like it is now, I don't see Luka being happy.
This is not going to be the team next year. It's just you got to wait till this fucking year's over. This was always the plan. That's why they didn't extend LeBron. Look, you want to blame fucking people? Blame the fucking idiot moron PA for agreeing with this stupid fucking CBA, with this fucking idiot of a commissioner the last 5 years. Why are you? We can't do anything. You can't snap anymore. You can't. They just signed Bennett, former Virginia coach, so that they can start drafting people. Do you know who the Lakers have drafted the last 5 years? No one. Nothing. They've got nothing. And even the free agent that they hit the lottery with, they fucking let him go. And then now they have Austin Reeves. That's it. That's all they got that they haven't brought in. These guys cost the turnaround issue. Lakers can't just go trade for people. They can't just go sign people anymore because they wanted this stupid-ass socialistic fucking dildo of a freaking agreement so that everyone can be even, so that we can watch Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers in the fucking finals. When the fuck has the NBA ever made any money watching a bunch of fucking mid-tier fucking in the middle of the country fucking championship games? When? Did anyone give a fuck about the Seattle Supersonics in 79 when they won? Or the Washington Bullets? No. You want to know when the fucking NBA became the NBA? When the Lakers and the Celtics won 8 of 10. When Jordan went 6 of 8. When San Antonio with Duncan, an all-time great, and the Lakers were winning how many in the 2000s? How many did they win? 5 and 3, 8 and 11 seasons. When were the ratings really good recently? When Cleveland and Golden State were in the finals 4 years in a row. When did shit hit the fan? When every other year was a different champion. This is what I hear. But it don't connect. The problem with the quick turnaround is they agreed to this deal where it's impossible to do anything of that nature. That's it. So where's Luka gonna go? Minnesota? Milwaukee? Then what? What, he's gonna get to Boston? What, are they gonna trade Tatum for Luka? Where's he gonna go? The Wizards? The Wizards are gonna have a lot of money this summer. He's gonna demand to go to the Wizards? Oh, wait, Trae Young's over there. How the fuck's that gonna work? Oh, Miami. He's gonna go to Miami because Pat Riley's the GM. What has Pat Riley been doing the last 5 years? Pat Riley has not won a championship in Miami since LeBron left. And they underachieved, by the way, during those 4 years. They had no business not winning 3 out of 4 at least. Should have been 4 for 4 if you're talking about LeBron at his peak. This team needs to get gutted. Not 100%. It's not very realistic in the NBA. You're talking about a superstar in Luka Doncic. You're talking about a very good player in Reeves. The problem with Reeves, though, is you cannot pay him max money. You cannot pay Reeves max money. You cannot. Sorry, you have to let him go if he gets a max contract, which even that's impossible because you can only get him for 4 if he's going elsewhere. So the Lakers have to gut this thing at the end of the year. I don't know if they're going to get rid of JJ. Probably not. They're probably going to give him a shot a little bit when they start forming the real team. And then I got to see how this front office plays out. I just can't see how they're going to give Rob Pelinka any legitimate responsibility where it matters. I just cannot imagine it. I don't care what they say publicly. I don't give a shit what they say publicly. I don't believe anything they say. It's all PR. It's all so that they're not disrespecting anybody. But the Lakers need to get rid of hamheads like Ayton and LeBron's circle. The LeBron circle, you want to blame that piece of dumb shit fucking agent it is for creating this whatever, that's fine. But that problem has been there for a while now. This didn't just happen this year. These guys have been dildos for like 4 seasons now. How much more can we wait for these idiots to figure out what's going on? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't have a fucking clue what these guys are doing. These guys, Rich Paul wouldn't exist if LeBron James didn't exist. He'd be selling CDs in his fucking trunk still to this day. So we have to wait. That's it. There's nothing else to say. I've been saying this almost on every show. We got to wait. Got to get this season over with, and it's going to end. It's going to end bad. It's not going to end good. This win tonight would have probably guaranteed the Lakers a 6 seed because they would have been. I think they would have been up 4 games in a loss column ahead of Phoenix.
Yes, they would have been up at least 3. So,
yeah. And the season series, maybe I don't know what it would be since it would have been 2-2. I don't know if I have to see the conference. Let me see the standings on that if they're ahead in the conference standings against Phoenix or versus Phoenix. Hold on a second here. Let me get it.
Again, it is the Lakers losing 113 to 110. While you're doing that,
so they're ahead. Yeah, so they're ahead in conference play. So had they won today, they would have been up 4 games with the tiebreaker, which would have been 5 games. They would have all but probably clinched a 6 seed, unless somebody got hurt that was significant and they went on like a 5 or 6 game losing streak. Because the next 3 games are to bottom feeders. And they'll probably win the next 3 games if again they decide not to fucking quit like the quitters that they are sometimes. Yeah, there's a big chance that there's something there for them.
Want to get it back to you, Legend, because something you said about Clint Capella. Because earlier, I guess there was something, and I just looked it up again. What I saw, and I had to look at it twice because I saw it earlier on my.
Hold on. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, go ahead.
When the fuck did I say he doesn't deserve his contract? And hating. See, this is what pisses me off about internet people and people that talk out of their fucking ass. Listen to what I'm saying. If Austin Reeves is your second best player, you are not going to win. I don't care how much someone deserves something. It doesn't matter. It's about winning. Austin Reeves is not a number 2. So you stop hating on reality and common sense. If you're going to drop $45 million on Austin Reeves for 5 years, you're effed. You are not winning shit. Nothing. You will win nothing. There's a hard cap in the NBA now. It's called the apron number 2. You cannot allocate $45 million to a guy who is not a star next to Luka. And the Lakers don't have draft capital to go draft 5 or 6 guys and develop them to be a bunch of pit bulls around Luka. You don't got that either. Because Palinkas traded all of it away with Rich dumb shit Paul and all those dumb shits that are still around. Until you get rid of those assholes and you bring in somebody that knows what to do, maybe we can get lucky and get some draft capital in some way, then maybe we can start talking. Stop saying when you don't support something that they're haters. That's a stupid, ignorant comment. I like Austin Reeves. I like his game, but he ain't a star, and he never will be. He's a very good player. And maybe he'll make an all-star team. Brandon Ingram made an all-star team. You know who else made an all-star team, Gerald? D'Angelo Russell. Now, are you going to hang your hat on that?
Sabonis has made 3.
Even the all-star, and you wonder why the all-star game sucks ass? Now it's starting to come together, isn't it? Maybe we should all be given participation points and trophies. How about that? Does that make you feel better so that everybody isn't hated on? Man, you came to the wrong fucking show, dude.
Grant,
this is Bill Parcells' show. This is Bill Belichick's show. This is Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll, the greats, Nick Saban, if you guys don't know who the fuck those guys are. You don't win, you don't mean shit in sports. Sorry. You make your money. Hey, they make their money. They're all everybody that makes it in the pros won in life. Good for them. Congratulations. I don't give a shit. I'm watching to watch my team win. If you can't help my team win, then you're useless. I don't give a shit about your money. I don't care how much the owners have. I want to see a winning product. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna bow down because, oh my God, Austin Reeves is a nice guy. Yeah, that's great, but he's not a number 2 and he's not a star. Sorry, he's not. Never will be. He'll be at best a number 3. But you got to have things around. You got to have things around that team that are solid, and that's facts. That's not anything other than facts. And that's with a C and a T and an S at the end, not an X.
Grant, so I don't think he said clinched a 6th seed in that sense. He said that if the Lakers would have won tonight, they would have been 3 or 4 games ahead in the loss column and won the season.
They would have been 4 ahead, and then they would have had the tiebreaker at the moment because they have the conference lead in terms of percentage.
So it would have been a higher likelihood of them getting at least the 6th seed, Grants. That's what he was trying to say on there. So if there was any confusion, we apologize.
I thought I said all but clinched, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. That's what I meant to say.
They would be in the driver's seat, to use the vernacular, as far as I'm concerned.
And by the way, don't talk down to me, bitch. Don't talk about blabbering. If you've not been on the show long enough, this is what the people want. So you got a problem with what I'm saying? You want to call it blabbering? Get the fuck out of here then. And fuck off. Go blabber your fucking face off. Stupid bitch.
You wonder why I kicked the viewers.
You think you're gonna be a tough guy over the fucking chat? Blabbering?
I love it. Come on in, all you new viewers. Once again, it is the Lakers losing.
Blabbering. This guy wouldn't say a fucking period or a semicolon in front of my face, but he can say it online like all those other fucking cowards. Next time, chill, watch, and see the show before you yap. Nicolas Cage made $400 million doing what I'm doing, by the way, in films. So who's the fucking idiot now?
And if you guys, again, I put an extended article up last night on Austin Reeves as the first question the Lakers need to answer. I hope you guys get a chance to read it. I put a lot of detail into it and allow you guys the opportunity to feedback on it. But Gustavo has somewhat similar thoughts on what Joe and I have been saying since the summer on what a trajectory could be or should be for Austin in our eyes. But again, it is what it is indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers losing 113-110. Legend, let's get to the DeAndre Ayton experience once again. At Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter, and wherever you get your social media. Please go ahead and check it out. All the great stuff, including the pillow, canvas art, and more t-shirts, hats right there for you at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Legend, I don't know how this was brought as far as what context. I don't know if he said at a press conference or a reporter caught him on a bad time. But I guess, or if he said it out, just playing out a day of social media on Instagram, it looks like. DeAndre Ayton said, quote, "They're trying to make me Clint Capella." Now, Capella had the last laugh after his non-performance tonight. But your thoughts on that, my friend, because again, like you talked about with the DeAndre Ayton experience, thank God we don't have him on a truly expensive contract, because then it really would be hurting, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know what Aiden was expecting, but my thing with him is you pretty much knew what the Lakers needed you to do when you signed that contract. There's no way they didn't tell you before you signed his contract, this is what we expect from you. You signed up for that. So like, you can't get mad if they're using you that way. That's what you agreed to. But you're at the point of your career where you shouldn't be complaining. You're on the verge of falling out the league, man. At this point, you might want to play a Clint Capella role just to stick in the league. But it looked like you failing to do that. And I'm not sure why you're taking a shot at Clint. Clint in his former days, with the Hawks and all before that, he was a really good player. If he was half that right now, he solved a lot of Lakers' problems for that in that center position. So it's like, but like you said, at least you ain't got him as a long-term contract. He can get his ass up out of there and go find somebody better, because he done wet the bed enough this season. If I was a Laker fan, I'd be done watching him.
Well, Clint Capella has played 11 NBA seasons, Legend. The book is out to see if DeAndre Ayton will be playing 11 NBA seasons at this point.
He be speaking Chinese.
Oh, like Antonio Blakeney, who we just heard about on Pablo Torre, finds out who is the co-conspirator number one in the federal lawsuit. Most likely, as discovered by Pablo Torre, finds out that he was the one throwing games along with Terry Rozier and all that, allegedly. So very interesting indeed that they were able to go ahead and do that. Nick T should have kept Trey Jameson. Seriously?
Ooh.
That's the best you can do? God, Nick. I mean, I'm gonna breathe in, exhale, breathe in.
I'm telling you, I think that's Rodell, and I think that's his burner account. It's got to be Rodell's burner account.
What the hell is Trey Jameson III going to do to change the trajectory of this franchise at this moment? He doesn't even get burned on the Knicks.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
there you go. Yeah, Wayne Gabriel. That was the one I was thinking
Exactly.
about. He's just
Isaac Bonga. I
he's
got
just
thrown
doing it for
Isaac
attention.
Bonga
There's no
the
other
other day.
reason.
I got thrown Isaac Bonga the other day.
Nick
And
T, go bother that dipshit that was talking just 5 minutes ago. Go bother him. Get him out of here.
yes, the one that said you were babbling.
Yeah, or brabbling or grabbling. Apparently, I said brabbling or whatever the fuck he said.
Mega Driver says, "Not gonna lie, I was hoping the Lakers would win, but I put my money on the Suns. It was too much for the Lakers.
I know that feeling. I don't bet against the Warriors a couple times, made money too. So don't
Hey,
worry.
you gotta think with your head, not with your heart, when you're making those bets, because they aren't gonna pay your money back if you lose. So I'll just leave it at that. At least Trey would show some. He didn't get off the bench, Nick T, when he was here with the Lakers very much, and he was just a hired thug. He would come in, get a hard foul here, get a hard foul there, and that's it. He had no offensive game or anything of like that. Did you actually watch the games, or did you just go to a box score when he was playing and just said, "Hey man, he looks like a 6'10" rugged guy. Think he could do something for the Lakers." Did you actually watch the games, Nick? Because I kind of question that sometimes when you with your comments. So sometimes your stuff is decent, and I'll give you that. Sometimes it's out there. But no, when you Gabriel. Well, Joe, is of course the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate you guys joining us. The Lakers unfortunately lose. They're a game out of the play-in. Now, again, a lot of the guys that were out there that like Legend, myself, the over the 12 panelists that put out there, we all had the Lakers essentially fourth, fifth, and a couple had them in sixth place in the Western Conference. But at this point, I think all of them to a T would say they're now approaching below any and all of our expectations. I don't know where you had them because you didn't put out a list, but I cannot say that even you think that they are doing well right now as a team.
How about Roy Hibbert?
There you go.
You know how good Frank Vogel was, guys?
Bring back Alex Len.
You know how good Frank Vogel was? He was a couple free throw makes away from beating LeBron in his prime, right? Or at least very good chance of beating him. And then he made Roy Hibbert a runner-up Defensive Player of the Year. Just a little bit of history there. Mo Bamba, there you go. Where's Mo Bamba? Didn't he just sign with Washington?
Yes. No, I think
was it Washington or was it Memphis?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Let me find out. I think it was Indiana. Let me make sure. Or was it? No, it was Utah. It was Utah. My bad. It's Utah. Yes, it was Utah today. And then also as well, just to show you, Legend, and just to show you, Joe, you can make it in this league if you keep if you keep on everybody's good side.
Well, let me address something.
Taj Gibson just got signed as well.
Yeah, he's 40 years old. Yeah, that's how bad talent is in the NBA. But hey, no. It's okay. It's okay. Silver wants to expand.
There you go.
And he doesn't want to move anybody. Oh, and by the way, Memphis, I thought this stat was hilarious when I read it today. Memphis had cheaper tickets to their game than a McDonald's fry order.
That is correct. They did. Was it $4?
$4.79, and then there was a $2 ticket to go to Memphis.
Okay. A 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know it was down to 6 what I saw.
I know people in Louisiana. Half of them don't know there's an NBA team there. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. So, anyways, I want to tail into what Jeremy said about Luka-centric offense. Jeremy, I have a response to that and a answer. I want you to imagine something here. Imagine a front line that can rebound and be functional on offense, and then imagine a second star with a really good third guy that will not allow Luka to be compromised at the top of the key or behind the arc. Just something to think about. because that's what they're going to build here for him. It's going to happen knowing the history of the current regime that's coming in. We just have to wait.
Okay. Well, wait, we will.
Now, if Luka still can't get over the hump after that, then you got every reason to say, well, maybe Dallas was right. Maybe he wasn't fit to win it all. But let's talk about that, Gerald. What do you think about Steve Nash?
The player or the coach?
The player, not the coach. No, the player.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, clarify. The player, I mean, again, two-time MVP.
During his play, what did anyone?
I think I was really angry with, not angry, but I was really disappointed in the fact he wasn't more aggressive in his stroke, because he was one of the best shooters in the NBA, and consistently, because he wanted to facilitate and just get that offense into high gear. It that offense in and of itself is really hard to sustain in a playoff format, as we saw, Joe. But again, I continually got frustrated, like, for the fact that, you guys talk about how Luka, when he's struggling, should stop shooting and distribute more. I got frustrated when you watch, as an NBA fan, when you see a player with the skills and the touch of Steve Nash not utilizing it to the fullest.
So you saw two different types of really good Lukas the last two games. Number one, the guy that can get you the ball where if you go to the right spot, and the other is, you saw tonight, a guy that's lethal from anywhere on the floor. But is this roster really constructed for his talent? The answer is absolutely not. You have three ball handling, essentially guards on this team that perform better when they have the ball in their hands. LeBron is good in spots as an off the ball player, but I don't think in this stage of his career, it's going to be really good. Like if it was 10 years ago, he may have benefited from it because he had the athleticism, the energy, and could play defense and make it work. Austin Reeves is not a good defender. He's not particularly an amazing athlete. Does have good fundamentals to a degree. Can get past his guy, just being able to kind of outsmart them or maybe get a step on him a little bit. And he's got an okay shooting stroke, but Austin would be deadly off the bench. And we saw a little bit of that a few weeks back, but we're not seeing that again. I don't know why, but
you know why.
Well, I know why, yeah, and that's the reason why. Maybe this is why this thing needs to get gutted. We need to stop with this. We need to cater to the basketball player if his best spot is. And this is not, again, I'm really trying to make this clear. Basketball players have always been divas. This isn't a 2026 problem, a 2025 problem, a 2020. Like, no, absolutely. The biggest divas on the planet have always been basketball players. However, if you look at the history of diva basketball players, you'll notice a certain habit. They don't win a lot. Biggest diva at the beginning? Who would you say at the beginning of the NBA that you probably remember right off the bat?
A biggest diva?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd say Draymond Green.
No, I'm talking about like really at the beginning of basketball, the NBA.
The beginning of the basketball?
Yeah. You probably don't remember the 50s. I don't think there was much going on there. Let's say the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to have a different mentality. You don't hear of many guys that were like talking about in that fashion. It wasn't until, you started to get more personalities in the game, and it was more focused on something else as far as entertainment wise. A little bit more spotlight on that, maybe in the 70s going on from there. But in the 80s, when it became something even different as far as the television is concerned, that's when I think you really started to see the branching out into what type of things you could see as far as, like you said, personalities that maybe don't always mesh with what you would like to see on television.
Wilt Chamberlain was the first diva in the NBA.
Yeah, off the court, yes. On the court, I you know what? I think it speaks for itself. I don't
give a shit about off the court. I'm talking about the game.
How would you say he's a diva on the court? Explain to me how he was a diva on the court.
I had mentioned this on a show earlier. When you have a guy who's talented and says things like "No one cheers for Goliath," what do you think that means? That he's not comfortable with being the bad guy.
Okay.
And
But that was a different time frame. That was a different time period.
and then you factor in again at the end of the day, it's the end result of this, because there are a lot of players like Michael Jordan or Kobe that would use that as fuel, and then it takes them over the top, right? Wilt Chamberlain had to prove that he passed the ball to, and he won an assist title one year because he wanted to prove he could pass the ball, right?
Yes.
So when the contrast with Wilt Chamberlain is you had Bill Russell. Now, granted, the Celtics at the time had more talent, but it had more to do with the fact that Bill Russell truly wanted to win, and I don't know if Wilt Chamberlain wanted to truly win.
Well, he didn't have all the parts around him, but you could say that to an extent.
He had it in '69. He had it in 1970. And he had it.
But
in
I'm talking about the
1973.
years. I'm talking about the years before when he was really at his peak powers.
I can't. You can't be in the conversation of greatest of all time when you're that good and you're only 2-4 in the finals, especially in an era where there was only 7 to 9 teams during that time. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was 23 teams, like it was in the most of the 80s, you could say, okay, there's some good amount of teams there, which then again, that's what makes the 80s the greatest decade of basketball, is you had talent. I mean, as good as it's ever been, and it wasn't diluted with 7 other teams. A lot of these teams had, because I've had that conversation a lot with, Joe, the Lakers had 4 Hall of Famers on their team, and the Celtics had 4 Hall of Famers or 5 Hall of Famers on their team. Well, there was 23 teams. That's why.
I agree more with JY. I think Daryl Dawkins with Chocolate Thunder was more of a diva than Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain backed a lot of what he would say out there on the court, Joe. I don't know. I can't get there with Wilt on the court. Off the court, the stories, I've seen the footage of how he lived his life off the court. I could give you that on that, but on the court, I'm not sure I can. I can get there. But Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, yeah, I can see that. Yes.
I think your definition of diva might be different than mine.
Okay.
Dawkins was a personality. I never heard a negative thing about him.
No, and that diva can be okay. All right.
To me, a diva is like a Terrell Owen type player that messes up things. Antonio Brown towards the end of his career.
How did Wilt mess up things?
Well, I gave you the example of Game 7 when his coach wouldn't let him go back in. I guess my assumption is that wasn't an isolated situation. That was a build up to something, right? And Bill Russell also criticized his good friend Wilt Chamberlain for checking himself out in a game like that and kind of question his manhood. And I've heard Wilt Chamberlain talk in interviews. Like I said,
I can't get there.
Amazing statistical player, but when it came to prime time, 2-4.
There's a lot of players that, hey, okay.
No, there isn't a lot of players who've played like Wilt
that have not gotten to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, but this is Wilt Chamberlain, supposed to be the best player ever, right?
I didn't say he was the best player
50 and 30 in a year, right? 50 and 20.
You just called him one of the greatest statistical players.
No, I mean, I'm just saying what I see him as. But other people think he's
your
great.
definition of diva is different from mine, so I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Yours is wrong and mine is right. Thank you.
No,
Thank you
mine's right and yours is wrong. No, I'm sorry. I can't get there with the Wilt. Sorry. You didn't live that time, and neither did I, so I don't think you have the right to go ahead.
Well, I have every right to say it.
No, yeah, but you can also be wrong like you are now.
Nah.
Yeah.
Not
So,
a
Legend,
chance.
let me bring it back to
Not
you,
even
my
close.
friend. Hey, yeah, that's right. You're not even close. Absolutely.
You're
I
not
couldn't
even
agree
close
more
to
that
being
you're
right.
not even close.
You're
on
not
that
even
one.
close.
Joe said it right. He is
you
not
are
even
close.
close to what he just said. He is wrong again.
Well, you
No.
can't say Wilt is the GOAT to getting women, though. I give him that.
Yeah. Good
It's
point.
okay, Gerald. Don't worry about it. You'll make it up next time.
No, Joe. Yeah, you just said you were wrong, and it's okay.
It's
You're
okay.
wrong,
Don't worry about it. People will
don't
not
worry about
judge
it,
you.
Joe. You got it, man. Next time you're wrong again. So again, I got it. I just want another one on my book.
Don't feel bad, man.
How's
Be
that
hard on
MVP
yourself.
How's that MVP race going, Joe? Wrong again. Ooh, another one for me. That's one with Wilt and one.
Guys, this is the same guy that got out of our group chat and said he won in an argument.
I won because I did. I made you.
No one
crazy
leaves
for
a
2
chat.
hours.
No one leaves the discussion with a win.
I was laughing in
tell
your
him,
face
Mark.
for 2 hours. I won.
Tell him, Mark,
I
you
won.
there?
I won.
I
was
won.
laughing
Click.
in your face for
Hold on,
2
guys.
hours.
Watch. I just won the argument. See how dumb that looks?
I just won the argument because I just shut him off the stage. So, I can do that anytime. Oh, big man, you're just showing your IQ there. I'm glad you can count to 1. So there you go. I win again. 1 with Wilt, 1 so far with the MVP voting.
Where's that dipshit that was here earlier?
Oh, now you want to go back to him. That's
Oh, there he is. I want to hear where the douchebag in the hat has LeBron ranked all the time. He's right below your mom.
He said, "Let's hear it, Tubby." Don't forget that part in there.
Just below your mom.
Picture. Yeah, okay. All right. Yep. I don't know, Mark. No, thank you. How about that? There you go. There's a no thank you there for you. So, Mark, keep at it, Mark. Come on. I'll just Xbox. I thought you were better than that. I won the argument with Joe. I laughed in his face for 2 hours. I enjoyed it. I left because
he didn't enjoy it.
That DM. Oh, I enjoyed every bit of it. My family was just roasting.
Yeah, my ass.
They were just loving how much I was.
He loved it so much. He
I was red in the face because I was laughing so hard at Joe. I was laughing so hard in Joe's face the entire time. It was beautiful, best. It was just so awesome. I had him he was going to his gay jokes and his toilet jokes and his toilet. When you get Joe,
you're lying.
He goes.
I was just repeating what you said.
Oh no! I was just no, Joe. You come off like a douchebag,
dude. You left the chat. You quit.
Why would I want to stay there?
Because you lost.
I spent no.
You don't run and win. How does that make any sense?
Hours. I laughed in your face.
You ran. You lost. You ran. I didn't run.
I didn't run either.
You bounced. You got out of the chat. That's you. That's not me. I didn't quit. You quit.
I did not quit.
You quit. No, there's no denying it. You quit.
I got
you
bored
left.
of you. You left.
You
2
lost.
hours of leaving, laughing at you.
Saying, hey,
2 hours of
laughing. Race, and then I left.
2 hours of laughing.
And won, though.
That
doesn't make any sense.
Hours. I was.
You left. It doesn't matter what you say right now. You
bored
left.
and done.
Imagine a race. You're racing, right? You keep racing.
Boring.
You just left. You left. That means you lose. That's how it works.
You're still dwelling on it, so you know I won. The fact you're still dwelling on it, you know I won.
No, because you're wrong.
Bored. I left because I was bored of you. Bored.
It has nothing to do with bored. You left. You lost.
I left because I was bored of you.
You left because you couldn't handle it anymore. Come on, don't bullshit us.
You can't let it go.
You lost because you left.
You can't let it go.
You quit.
I won. I got the best of
you.
You
quit.
You can't let it go.
You
that
quit.
I got the best of you. I got the best of you, and it's all right there. Right there on WhatsApp. Right there on my text. I got it.
I can screenshot Gerald or whatever. Gerald Glassford left.
The fact that
Gerald Glassford left.
The fact that you can't let it go shows that I won. I got
you
to
didn't
you in
lose.
a way that people rarely do. I got to you.
You didn't. You could
Yes,
never
I
get
did
to
because
me.
it's there. It's all on the WhatsApp chat.
You're in your
all
own head,
there.
man.
No,
You
I'm
don't
not
know
in
where
my
the
own
hell you
head. I
are.
don't even think about it. I don't
Yeah,
even
you
think
do.
about it. You dwell on it all the time. The fact that I beat you and you can't handle it.
No, I already have an audience that already said I won. What are you talking
What
about?
audience? They
People
all just
were there.
they listen to your
No,
toxic
they don't need to know.
masculinity
They're
all
all
the time
grown,
that
they're all
nobody
grown
cares about.
adults. They don't
It's
listen to anything I
boring.
say.
It's
They know
boring.
facts. That's what they know.
Boring.
Legend, you asleep?
Boring. So how you
Oh
doing?
no, I'm over here. I'm over here on the phone.
Good,
There you
good.
go. See?
At least you're doing something productive than listening to
Legend
this.
is the most patient and awesome individual out there as far as what we do at panelists. Because again, Joe, the fact he's dwelling on it shows he thinks about it.
Gerald likes to make
Every
up
time.
stories, so
No,
this is what it
I
is.
didn't
You
even.
gotta let him
You're
go
the one that
play
mentioned
stuff.
it. You're the one that mentioned it. I'm the one that I haven't even mentioned. I
Come on,
forgot
best
about
league
it.
is getting bored now. Let's change this up.
So you know, again, I win. You lose.
Gerald, I'll
How's that
screenshot
MVP
it and send
race
it to
going?
everybody.
How's that
Gerald
MVP
Glassford
race
left.
going? How's that MVP race going? I win again. I win again. Once again, it is the Lakers winning, losing 113 to 110. The Lakers are now 34-24, a game out of seventh place in the Western Conference. So, Legend, let me get it back to you again. As a team who has really found you get to see things from a non-Lakers fan perspective, and you see that the big three, the vaunted big three that the Lakers were so high on coming into the season, it's just not clicking. When you watch them work together, what do you see is going wrong? Because again, it seems like only one of them at any given point in time can actually just be productive and consistent out there on the floor.
Yeah, it's hard to rely on what you have right now, and it's just at this point, it's not much you really can do at this point other than just ride it out and see what happens toward the end of the season. But all you can do is hope maybe some dudes will pick it up together and begin to feel that pressure of knowing that I'm going to be unemployed in a couple more months. So we will see what happens. See, maybe DA will get itself together and realize that my NBA career is on the line, and a lot of the others will step up too, knowing that this roster is probably going to be completely a different roster when you come back at the end of the summer. And maybe Austin Reeves will probably wake up and step it up a little bit too. But it's tough right now. But you got to also put some blame on JJ too, though, for letting runs and stuff happen in a lot of these games. Can't sit there and let somebody go on a 13, 14, 15 run and not try to stop the momentum at least a little bit.
That 13-0 run was the key, Legend. Again, and just I don't know. I've seen many coaches, successful coaches, when there's a 13-0 run, they stop it before it gets to a 13-0 run. When they see that the tide is just not going their way in the fourth quarter, this wasn't the first quarter, this wasn't the second quarter, this wasn't the third quarter where the Lakers had already given up a double-digit lead. This was the fourth quarter, Legend. And I don't know, at that point he had timeouts left in his pocket. I don't know what he was thinking at that point in time, because again, it's starting to show. I don't know if it's just a case of an experience or if it's just coaching skill, Legend, because these type of things start to question for a lot of people if JJ is going to be the coach long term.
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of it is due to just lack of experience, and then just maybe not knowing what to do in the exact moment. And you would think some of those issues could be avoided when you got experienced coaches on your staff, like Brooks and all them on your staff. You would think they'd be able to advise in some spots, but I think a lot of it is just the lack of coaching experience and probably still trying to adjust to the NBA level. But you're coaching for the Lakers. People ain't gonna hear that. This ain't the place to come really to learn. You ain't know what you're doing. And I think that's might be one of the biggest thing I think that is probably hard on JJ right now is you in a franchise that looking to win now. So it's hard to get them growth spurts, them growth moments, and make a lot of mistakes. But I've been kind of said from the beginning. I think this is a hard job for JJ being somebody brand new, and if he got fired, may not be a bad thing for him. At least go somewhere where you can make a lot of mistakes and maybe learn a little bit, gain more experience, and then maybe try to make a return on that type of level. but it's just a lot of rookie mistakes to me. Just a lot of mistakes. He just making as a rookie. You know, they ain't his rookie year as a coach, but just making a lot of mistakes as a new coach in the NBA.
Jeremy, he has the email. He got it just the same as Joe and Legend. So I send it out to all the guys. It's up to them if they want to stop on by. And I don't know in advance usually if they're going to stop on by. John's the only one who usually tells me on a regular basis if they can make it or not. So if these guys come in, they're more than welcome to, and I'm always glad they're here. Yes, even Joe, I'm glad they're here. Speaking of which, Joe, the Lakers' next game is Saturday night, 5:30. It is another primetime game for the Lakers against your Golden State Warriors, Legend. This is, I'm sorry, you have to excuse me, Joe, because it's getting hilarious that there's a possibility. And Curry's not back in the lineup yet. Is that correct, Legend?
That is correct.
That is correct. So, no Butler. No Curry. What could go wrong, Joe? Again, the past couple, 3 weeks, we've seen the Lakers, so many times they could take advantage of these other teams that are not healthy. They're not complete like tonight. What could possibly go wrong on Saturday night?
They'll lose again. Are they going to allow 22 threes again?
That's a good point. The 22 threes.
It's really an unknown now. We don't know if it's mentally starting to just eat away at everybody. LeBron looked like, I mean, he was playing some good defense actually for a little bit, but
he can't sustain it though.
No, and that's, I hope he do. I just hope he retires. I really do. I don't. Does Cleveland really want LeBron? Do they really want him there? I mean, or if they did, then wouldn't that kind of just justify that they're not really interested in winning?
I mean, they really desperately want to keep Mitchell and try to extend him, but that team has already gotten really expensive. They're going to get even more expensive if they keep Harden there. Mobley is now, this time last year, Joe, Allen was the one that everybody thought would be traded and thought removed is among that big four. Garland eventually was, but Mobley has never achieved that level that people were expecting of him when he got drafted so high. He may be on the move. Maybe LeBron would slide in there, but again, at a 42-year-old player coming in there, or eventually 42-year-old player, I don't know what that serves. I don't know. I don't really know what purpose that serves. Then you got to talk about the money involved. Does he take what type of contract does he take? He just looks like right now, even though he is playing better than statistically than any other 41-year-old ever has, it still looks like a shell of himself, and that's definitely not what the Lakers need.
They're going to have to hit in the draft. They're going to have to hit in the draft with really an all-star player in this year's draft. I don't know if they'll be able to get that player in their early 20s, which is probably, could be late teens, but
right now it's still early 20s.
Yeah. They'd have to hit on that for this to get expedited, and then they'd have to get the star this summer. Giannis is really the only one that there's been a hint of him being available possibly this summer, but we have to see how they set the executive board this summer. I don't know. Chris Paul didn't get picked up. He retired getting dumped. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. What a way to go. It's just like, it was just an
Very
afterthought.
sad.
Yeah, very sad.
So it had to have been him, right? Had to have been him. So with that, is any of the other 29 teams going to really want to deal with LeBron unless they're just trying to get a money grab? And why would LeBron go to Washington? Washington might want to have him for a year just to sell tickets, right?
Yeah.
Would he go to Washington?
with Trae Young and AD. I don't know what they're trying to create a
So that's going to be the balance here. Where does LeBron want to go in this?
all-star team of 2021.
He's going to want to sort of win, right? Go like to a team that has a chance to maybe compete.
A ring chaser, so to speak.
So let's figure that out. He's probably going to go back to the Eastern Conference. So what team would likely pick him up and pay him? Then you got to figure out, well, what would he be? If he wants to take a vet minimum, I think that's sure. Yeah, that would help. Would he go to Orlando? Atlanta? Does he finish off in Miami? Does Miami even want him? I don't know who the hell would want him. And why would he go play for $1 million at that point? Just so they can get flowers and chocolates for 82 games before he ends it? Like, if I'm LeBron, I just hang it up, man.
Yep.
I just hang it up at the end of the year. Go out on top a little bit. Go out on top where you actually didn't have a bad statistical season. You were on the Lakers. You played 8 years.
Again, 21.7 points a game for a 41-year-old. I mean, it is what it is. But then you look, that's just the stats right there. You look behind it, Joe, and there's a lot not to like.
LeBron will never own a majority stake in any NBA team. It'll never happen. He doesn't have enough money. No one is going to loan him that kind of money. He can't back up $5-6 billion. I don't know. Would the Vegas team be more than that? I don't know.
He would be. Well, first off, it's like a $500 million rumored buy-in just to get in the league, but to start it up capital wise, what you need
think about it for a second. When I say this, Mark Walter had to go work with the Saudis to get enough money to get.
Yeah, you would need venture capitalists,
right? He's even though he's with the Guggenheims and they got what $350 billion that they can do whatever with.
Yeah,
they still went out and used somebody else's money. That's how the rich get rich, by the way, guys, and how they stay rich. They never use their own money, even though they have the money. They just back it up. The rich do not spend their money. They spend your money. And the reason why they're able to do that is because they can borrow against their money.
Isn't that a great system?
Again, I'm not trying to be political here. This is simple numbers and stuff, right?
Just economics.
Yes. So when you say, oh, we need to tax these people, they're not earning an income, you idiots. Their loans don't get taxed. They borrow against their money. So let's say Mark Walter goes to the Saudi and goes, hey, can you loan me $7 billion? I'll do the 3, you put the 7, and I'll pay you interest for it, right? And of course, what do the Lakers do? I'm sorry, what do the Dodgers do? When I'm using them as an example again because, they get Shohei Ohtani for 700 bills. Oh, but it's deferred until next century. And in the meantime, they got that money in an escrow account earning interest, probably at 8 to 10%. And then, by the way, they already covered the $700 million in freaking billboards. But let's tax the billboard. Let's tell everybody we're going to tax these people. We need to tax them. We need to put a millionaire tax this one time. Yeah, okay, good luck. Good luck with that. So, there's LeBron would do himself a favor. I'm not trying to speak for LeBron, God help me, but I don't see any point in him going anywhere ever. It's just you've done it, man. You did it. You did it. Go out. You were an all-star. You gave it everything you could. You didn't turn into Tracy McGrady where you were on the bench while the Spurs were in the finals. You didn't become Shaq. averaging 9 points a game as last year. Go out on top as much as you can. But it would be so non-LeBron to do that, wouldn't it? How about LeBron wins his next chip next season, Joe? How? Where? San Antonio? Why would San Antonio have it?
Does he go ring chasing?
No. He cares about what others think too much to do that. He's already known as the pioneer of ring chasing.
Taking my talents to South.
And I never faulted him for that, by the way. I never did. It's easy to criticize him. Oh, well, Jordan stayed. Kobe stayed. Bird stayed. Well, of course those guys stayed. They were in Cleveland. It's LA, Boston, and Chicago. You notice Hakeem didn't leave Houston. He almost did, actually. You remember that, Gerald, don't you? That there was some talk that Hakeem was going to go to LA. I actually have this theory that had Magic not retired due to the HIV virus, I actually have a feeling that I think Dr. Buss would have made that deal. And I think the reason why he would have been able to make the deal was because Hakeem would have demanded it, because he was already really pissed at Houston at that point. And if he knew Magic was there and they had just lost to the Bulls the way they did, I can only imagine a Hakeem Magic playing the Bulls. Oh man, that'd have been an interesting alternative universe.
Adrian, I don't know what your problem is, because you just come on a show. You haven't been hearing us. You obviously haven't checked out the other 1,500 episodes of this channel. Again, we're not apologists. I'm not an apologist. I say it how I see it. And if LeBron stinks like he did today, then that LeBron is part of the problem. Ayton did a no-show. Austin underwhelmed. Again, I will call it like I see it. So don't tell us. We're not scared of anything. So don't tell us what we're scared to admit or not admit. Do not say things like that. You talk about the idiot earlier, Joe. This guy, I think, tops them all. This guy.
Well, the thing is, this is what happens in a social media world of being able to speak out of your asshole with no consequences. See, back when you didn't have social media, you would have had to have written a letter to the newspaper guy to do all that. And very few people are going to do that, right? Compared to what social media does. It's convenient for these guys to just say nonsense because there's no retribution. Scared of what? We're going to criticize. If LeBron James was making $2 million a year, why aren't we criticizing Jackson Hayes? Have you noticed that lately, guys? Gee, I wonder why. Now, I want you to put this in your mind with all your thinking. You all of a sudden, you're Negrodamus. You can predict the future and know what we're thinking, right? I want you to think about this for a second. Everyone, imagine Jackson Hayes making $52 million a year. How is the discussion on our show going to be the last month? You'd be scratching the walls. What the fuck is this guy? Why isn't he doing anything? Look what we're doing to DeAndre Ayton, who's making what, $8 million? If LeBron was making vet minimum money, I wouldn't even say anything about it. The guy's giving you 21, 6-6, making the vet minimum. Hell yeah, baby, let's do it. Hey, doing everything he can. You know what else would have happened, Gerald? If that was the case, Lakers would have depth. They'd have other guys helping this, and it's probably not a discussion. We would be tipping our hats. Hey, LeBron, thanks for caring about winning your last year. How about that? How about that? That I didn't say Nostradamus, Mark. I said Negrodamus. You got to remember, I'm the generation of Chappelle. I know Negrodamus. I don't know Nostradamus. Rest in peace.
Dave Chappelle?
Yeah. Do you remember Negrodamus on Chappelle Show?
No, but I'm just saying Dave Chappelle is alive because you said rest in peace. And I'm
Well,
just
the
like,
guy that played Negrodamus, not Chappelle.
okay, I'm just like, well, that's different. Okay, but you said
You don't remember who Paul Mooney was?
yes, I know who he is, but you
That's
said
what I meant.
you said
passed away.
Chappelle, and then the next
Yes,
words you said right
Chappelle
after that.
Show.
But
That's
no,
where
you
it came
said,
from.
You said Chappelle, and then you said rest in peace. So
Chappelle Show. Paul Mooney. Sorry, I gotta freaking write a dissertation so everybody understands what I'm talking about.
Yes, being clear is definitely a benefit being on the internet. But Lakers are 40. Well, Lakers
You're just scared, Gerald. How about that?
scared of
According to Adrian, what is his name?
Adrian, yeah.
Adrian Knight.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me read it again. LeBron is your problem, but you're all too scared to admit it. LeBron was never Jordan or Kobe.
JY, again, with Luke Kennard, they're playing right on him. So the Lakers have to find ways. JJ has to find ways to free up Luke Kennard to take those shots, but also Luke Kennard has to be more aggressive. You know, you go into detail why Luke Kennard is hopped from team to team to team to team to team when the guy shoots 45% to 50% from three. It's like, how does this happen? But teams are willing to just let him go at a moment's notice. Well, again, it's not the fact that he just maybe has defensive issues. It's just the fact also as well that he just doesn't make waves or doesn't demand the ball as much as he should. I mean, it's not all his fault. So let's not put on this on him entirely. He wants to be a team player when he gets there, Joe. And it's up to JJ if he understands that if he's not going to ask for the ball, you have to find ways to find screens for him to open up the offense so that he can get better looks, so that he can take it to where you pass the ball and say, hey, you've got to take it, man. You've got to take those shots. These are things, again, that you have to find and work out. I understand that Luke Kennard is not the most aggressive offensive player in the world, but when you say he takes no 3-point attempts and whatnot, that's it's a combination of the two when it talks about the team and Kennard not finding ways to get him open and to actually get him to take those shots.
Well, the sad thing about this entire thing is the same problem the Lakers had at the end of last year after the Luka trade is going to be the problem this year. What makes it worse this year than last year is they actually have a guy, but the guy's not doing what he's supposed to do. DeAndre Ayton, if he gave a shit just a little bit, the Lakers probably win 4 or 5 games this year. He was a minus 24 today. Imagine if he was a minus 12, they would have won. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the little details. How one player can destroy. You remember Mark Aguirre, right, Gerald? Okay, you remember the trade that Detroit made? Detroit was reeling in 1989. Then Mark Aguirre was acquired. And they ended up winning a championship. And you know what set that team apart when Mark Aguirre arrived? Mark Aguirre realized that I've been in Dallas for, 8 seasons at that point? 9 seasons? 8+ seasons? I want to win a championship, and I'm going to be a team guy. I don't care if Rick Mahorn comes in here and says, because they were enemies, right? That's how it was back then. Rick Mahorn comes in with his big stick, the big, bulldog of the team, right? And Mark Aguirre's, look, dude, I don't need to hear this. Let's go play ball and let's win a championship. And he did. If they don't acquire Mark Aguirre, the Lakers would have won a championship that year. Or maybe the Bulls would have. Because we still have to factor in that maybe Magic and Byron Scott still bust their hamstrings in that series, right? So if you don't care about winning and you're in a position of major need, you're going to be playing uphill as a team, and that's what the Lakers are doing right now. It's sad too because I was bringing up Jackson Hayes here, and to me, Jackson Hayes he's had his best year of his career this year, but he's not. He's trying his best. He really is. You could see it, but he just doesn't have enough talent to do the things that this team needs.
He's not a starting center. He's
just not a starting center. Yeah, he's just not. They collapse on him, and he can't do anything. It's not in his game. But he's been great. He's been great this year for what he gets paid and the efforts he's put in and the little bit of improvement in getting the ball in the hoop. Hell, I think his free throw percentage has gotten better this year too, a little bit. But it's not enough. What the Lakers need is they needed that guy that can rebound. If they just had one guy that could rebound. However, the reality is if DeAndre Ayton could rebound, he wouldn't have been available the way he is. And of course, if Jackson Hayes could rebound, he wouldn't be available for all essentially the vet minimum. So it's kind of one of those things where, it's not if and when and what, it's dependent on the availability of what you can get at the time. And the Lakers haven't had a chance to really get anything because they can't get anybody because this beautiful collective bargaining agreement where everything needs to be equal and hard to do. Right? It's almost like the way they've created the NBA is like they've regulated every fucking thing you can do. You can't wipe your ass without asking permission. You can't acquire anything of any kind of substance for your business without 400 different items that you have to go through. The NBA CBA is the California way of doing business. Especially if you're in LA and San Francisco. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, for my Australian friends, you all know as a country how they regulate there. For my Canadian friends, you know how they regulate things over there. And for those who are in Europe, you definitely know how things are going over there. It's the same in the NBA now. That's what they created. And if you've listened to my show and heard me talk about what the Major League Baseball situation is going to come about here in about 10 months. They want to create, or at least that's the word that's out there. It's all bullshit, by the way. They're trying to turn baseball into that because they can't handle greatness. And it's under this facade of fallacies. Oh, well, look at the NFL. It works in the NFL. No, it doesn't work in the NFL. You know who wins in the NFL? With certain gaps here and there, like it was this year, you have to have a franchise quarterback to win consistently and to be great. There was a time where there was like four quarterbacks in 24 years that were in the championship game. 24 years. Is that parity, Gerald? Because there's a hell of a lot more parity in baseball when it comes to that. And they don't have a salary cap. And they have a very laxed luxury tax too. So what is it? Then the results don't compute. They don't align with your fantasy. But the NBA managed to fuck themselves so much to the point where you had 51 million people watching the World Series Game 7 versus 18 million Game 7 for the NBA Finals. And basketball is supposed to be still the second most popular sport in the country. So how do you explain that, Gerald? And you can't sit there and say, oh, well, it's an American sport. No. NBA is a worldly sport. You got Slovenia. You got France. You got Argentina. You got all of Europe, basically. You got China. You got Australia. You got the NBA went international before anybody. So you can't use that excuse. Oh, well, they had Japan and they had Canada. No. The NBA has had a 20-year head start on Major League Baseball in terms of international audience. Why did they only have a little over 18 million watching a Game 7 in an NBA Finals versus a 51 million Now, if it was game 4 and a sweep, I'd give you a little bit of leeway there. But this is a game 7. That league, and you have a 51-18 difference. That's the result of your stupid ass collective bargaining agreement. That is the result of parity. Fuck your parity. Because that's what baseball was getting in those games when the Dodgers weren't whooping ass for more than a year. We want to see dynasties as an audience. And I say as an audience, not everyone's a diehard. Most people want to just, don't they always say that, Gerald? I just want to see a good game. I just want to see a good game. I want to root for the underdog. Well, if you want to root for the underdog, don't you need a villain to really root for the underdog? Who was the underdog in the Yankee-Dodger series? Look, 2 years ago. You had the evil empire and then the new evil empire. Like, there was no villain. It was two villains.
The only thing you could say is because the Dodgers, because they were screwed over on two.
Well, the thing is, the Dodgers, and that's part of the again, that's retribution, right? That's retribution. You cheated the Dodgers, and I say you as in a as a league, as the commissioner. He didn't demand. He didn't. Well, I know what happened. It was. It's kind of like the FBI with mafia guys, right? They basically said, "Rat yourselves out, and I'll let this go." Right? There was a deal done, but that doesn't fix the problem. And the thing is, in that is if they weren't cheating. By the way, if the Astros weren't cheating in 17, the Yankees probably go to the World Series, and we would have been able to see Judge earlier play the Dodgers. And who knows? Maybe Judge doesn't struggle in the playoffs. We'll never know what that affected. Really know. We know a lot of it. Like Kershaw got ripped off from a World Series MVP. That changes the whole narrative of his career if he has a World Series MVP, right? All the homegrown guys, because that everybody finds an excuse, right? To pull out of their fucking ass. They always pull something out because they're so full of shit. They're going to find something to talk about no matter what. That's how much shit they're full of, right? So they had 90% homegrown in 17 and 18. They get fucked by the Houston Astros, and they also got fucked by the Red Sox. But I always give Red Sox a little bit of leeway because they turn into a dumpster fire while sending a generational player to the Dodgers in his prime for a bucket of fucking corn and fucking stale water. So much more fun to talk about baseball, it seems. There's no restriction, man.
But why did we get 90 people out here in the room? Because they want us to go ahead and yell at each other.
Well, because and that's something that
yell at the Lakers. And
that's something that's important to talk about. This we live in a drama-filled world. They want excitement, they want anger, they want energy. Hell, Jeff even hit me up while we were doing the show saying, dude, I must have accidentally pressed the show's button and all he heard was me yelling at that dipshit that was here earlier. We're here. If you're going to be a show, what is this show? It's about entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. Baseball, football, basketball. It's about entertainment. Don't listen. People talk and then do completely different things. You cannot sit there and tell me this league is going down the shitter when you have 51 million people watching your product in a time where you have so many other areas to go to watch things. It doesn't make sense. And it's sad too, because how often do you see the greatest players in the league be on the biggest stage, right? Like Aaron Judge was in the World Series 2 years ago. Ohtani's been in the World Series the last 2 years. And we're not even talking about the other series that we've watched. You know, you got to go through 1, 2, 3 sometimes before you get to the World Series. It's in the 50s and 40s, which is why we've been talking about how, you know, when we talk about NBA too, okay, there was a time where they only played 1 series and then they went to the finals. Now you got to play 3 series before we go to the finals. Now you got to have a play-in, and then you got to go into the playoffs. So I'm just saying, man, it's, I guess, judging to go off of Adrian's thing, being scared of LeBron. I don't know what the hell that meant, but there's no point in comparing anything really. It's really for just shits and giggles, but there's no doubt LeBron is the number 1 player of his era, and there's nothing you can really say that can change that. LeBron between 2010 and 2000, let's just say his decade was 2010 through 2020. There's no argument. As good as Steph was, as good as Durant was, you cannot put anyone above LeBron between 2010 and 2020. Just can't. And make it sound normal. It just, you can't. What did SB say?
Mark was talking about the wonders of massages and how he prefers them.
There is no point of a massage unless there's a happy ending at the end.
You did have to go ahead and say that on the air.
Okay, Mark, I'm gonna throw this at you. Don't get sad. Just remember, you weren't the only one that day. And I don't care what kind of soap they're using.
One last question before we head on out, my friend. And I want to give a big thank you to Legend. Again, he comes on here after midnight, his time, East Coast time. Truly appreciate Legend. Please support him today at I Got Next Sports Media. But I did want to go ahead and mention before we head on out, thank you, Arcarino, because I kept saying Arcarino, but I didn't see the, as far as the end there, as far as the concerned, Arcarino. So hopefully I'm saying that well enough. But Joe, before we head on out, Anthony has a question for you on the Dodgers, since it's spring training and the Angels already look like the Angels. And the Dodgers are already looking like the Dodgers already. Hey, Joe, think Ohtani can win the Cy Young and MVP in the same year?
If there was a year to do it, it would be this year. I think this would be the only year that he could do it.
Because how old is he? 31?
He's 30. I think he's gonna be 32 this year.
Okay, that's it.
But a couple things have to happen.
Yeah,
a couple things have to happen. They're gonna have to win like they've been winning in spring training. I mean, they're
gonna have to win 110.
Yes, they're gonna have to win 110, which
not
means
100, but 110.
No, 100. Yeah, 110. They're gonna have to be. So let me just say this, and then I'll answer the question exactly. So Jeff and I have been talking about.
You're awesome.
A name. The 27 Yankees, the 98 Yankees don't have a name. They didn't really have a murderer's row. They were just, the whole team was badass, right?
Yes.
The 27 Yankees had a lineup from, I think, 1 to 6 that they called Murderer's Row. And at that time, I think the reason why they called them Murderer's Row was I think that was the time of Murderers, Inc. So they took that whole word and kind of made it into baseball, right? The lexicon of that current time. We need to make up a name for this lineup that the Dodgers are going to have. They're going to have a guy that hit 27 home runs last year, bat 8. And it looks like he's balling already this year too, by the way. And not Andy Pajes. So I think there's going to need to be a catchy name that flows. Right now I'm at deadline. DEAD line. Deadline. That's where I'm at right now. I thought of death row too, but I don't know if that'll be a copyright issue. But there's got to be something catchy. Deadline is where I'm at right now, death row. So anyways, to answer your question, if they win 110 games, that means likely Ohtani has enough run support to probably win 15 games. If he I'm going to say he's probably going to have 4 starts a month in the 6 months in the 6-month regular season. That's a solid number. 4 starts per month for 6 months. So that's 24 starts. If they win 110 games, that means he likely had run support to win 15 games and maybe lose, let's say, 4. Hell, even if it's 5. Now, what's his ERA going to be? Skeens is not going to be. I don't see Skeens not hovering around 195 again. Under 2, basically. So is Skeens going to win another Cy Young at a 9-8 record with let's say a 1.95 ERA? Or will they give the Cy Young to Ohtani if he goes 15-4 with, let's say, a 2.3 ERA? What do you think, G? I'm trying to be objective here. I don't really know how that will play out.
It's just like the MVP voting joke, because we're not talking about the best player. Because a lot of people, since I said about that, people need to keep an eye on the MVP for NBA. It's not about who is the best player; it's who has the best narrative. And if the narrative on a historical front for Ohtani is there, Joe, you got to say, again, if that story is written with the Dodgers winning 110 games and him pitching like enough games to get him like a 14-5 record, let's just say, with a 2.5 ERA, along with leading the league like he does in the at the bat, there is definitely a possibility he could do that on both sides. But he has to, like you said, do it this year because he's getting older, and the Dodgers are going to probably try and take care of him a little bit easier because of his health going forward.
Yes, if you're gonna go all the way on this is probably the only year in my view. And he showed 4 seasons ago, before this year, he got close. He was 4th in the Cy Young, won the MVP in the AL. I mean, he's gotten close. He has gotten close. But the question is, are you going to give him the Cy Young above Paul Skeens if Paul Skeens is subpar 2 again?
I think it's, like I said, if it's the narrative, if he's close enough to Skeens, Joe, I think he does it. I think he does it. But the thing, it's about the story that's written. Will it be that story? I think right now people want to see him succeed. I think even casual audiences, Joe, they might hate the Dodgers, but Ohtani seems to be that exception that they like and they want to see him succeed, Joe.
They're gonna be on top of it. Roberts is gonna be on top of it, and I don't really think Shohei cares. He cares, but he doesn't. It can't be at the expense of winning a championship. That's the thing that they're gonna factor into this. That's why I think 4 starts a month is likely going to be the way to go. I don't think 4 starts a month is gonna be as taxing as starting 6, 5, 5, 6. Those extra, let's say 7, 8 starts might be too much. I think if they cap them at 4 a month, regardless if it's a 4-week or a 5-week month, I think that's probably the route they go. But a lot of me says, Gerald, come on, man. I mean, it's worth a shot, isn't it? I mean, you don't see these things every day. I was excited when Deion Sanders was playing in a baseball game and a football game in the same week, day, whatever. You don't see this kind of stuff. It's amazing. But it won't be, it likely won't be at the expense of a title run, which is why they got Diaz, which is why they got Tucker. The team is going to have to hit like the Toronto Blue Jays hit last year. If they do that, it adds even an easier path to that. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. And it just would be an amazing. Well, it's likely never going to happen if it did happen. Because there's no one's going to take the MVP. The Major League Baseball does not have MVP fatigue. They don't do that like they do in the NFL and the NBA, which is nice. No matter how much Juan Soto cries, right? It's like, Juan Soto, you can barely catch a ball in right field. You want to seriously, like, you're going to really be all, whatever? Like what? Okay, you're one of the best hitters on the planet. Yes. But you can't throw a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. You can't strike out 10 guys in a clinching game in an NLCS and hit 3 dingers. You can't do that. No one can except Shohei. That's valuable. And when the guy is not even hitting well, he still affects the game. That's called that's value. When you're still doing well, guess what happens? You lose World Series and you don't even make the playoffs the following year. It's just saying, man. MVP is a different beast. So I'm gonna be watching every game, like I've been watching every spring training game, and that's another thing that it's just so nice to see them win games that don't matter because it sets good habits. Every time they got shellacked with a 3-run homer or whatever, they were right back in it the next inning. They were getting 2 runs here, another run. Like, they don't stop. There's got to be a nickname. I was thinking, man, this is like a horror show. They're like Jason Voorhees. They don't go away. They don't die. They don't die. They haven't died for 2 years. How do you create that name? That's why I kept thinking of things like dead and line because that's the line, right? Instead of row of players. Deadline. It's the team of a deadline. It's a deadline. You're dead. A line of death. So going back to the Lakers to put this thing away, I am excited that the same people that are running the Dodgers are going to bring this thing back to the Lakers. So we just have to let it play out a little bit.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 113 to 110 on a last second, per se, 3 by Royce O'Neal. Again, just you put yourself in that position. The Lakers had a double-digit lead in third quarter and just let it slip away once again. But the Lakers, 1 game out of the play-in, will head to Golden State. I promise Mark, who has become a member for 17th month straight, much appreciated. He has asked if we could go ahead and give a preview of the next game. We talked about it a little bit, Joe. And it's really hard to say, Joe, because this is, again, another prime time game for the Lakers coming up at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on Saturday at Golden State, who will not have Curry, most likely, who will not have Butler, of course. This team is, as of course, what my good friend Legend, who follows them, it's just not a good team right now. But that doesn't stop the Lakers, because every time you think they're going to take advantage of something in the past 3 weeks, they haven't. And it's not like the Lakers will have injuries heading into it either. They will be relatively a healthy team with their supposed big 3. Once again, this big 3 has not been a big 3 very much this season.
They're 8-6 together. And they're like negative 24. It's not good.
No, it's not.
They're not good together, guys. They're not. And all respect to my boy Jeff. A lot of us already said that, right? At the beginning of the year. Like, you don't need to be an executive because Jeff always says these guys know more than we do. I get that they know more than us, but we also have eyes and we can observe and understand the game. We sort of knew this wasn't going to work. And it's not. 3 ball handling guys. 2 of them can't play defense. Well, 3 of them can't play real good defense. That's a recipe for disaster against good teams. If you can't stop anybody, that doesn't matter what you score in the end. You can't stop anybody. They lost exactly how they were losing the entire game, with threes, wide open threes. They couldn't guard their own shadow. Their point differential is negative 0.4. Think about that for a second. Negative 0.4, and they're a 6 seed. Horrible division record, too, by the way.
Yeah.
They can't beat anybody in their own division, which is weird.
They're under 500.
Maybe they'll, I don't know, maybe they'll turn on a switch.
Somehow they're still leading the division, if that makes sense. But yes, the Phoenix Suns are literally a game behind them in the standings, in all facets of it. So yes.
I blame Best League for all these problems, too.
Not the one who is.
No. He came in. He came in like a cowboy and left like a jackass.
Okay.
Like a burro. Again, the guys like that don't. They're like the stupid ref in wrestling. They see this. They see the. They don't see the guy getting hit with a chair, and then they'll count 1, 2, and 3 for the guy that hit him with the chair. But yeah, I blame all the problems on Best League. I mean, if you want me to be, frank.
We will find out. But it is the Lakers heading.
But I'll be in Arizona not this weekend, next weekend. Power of the people.
So you're next weekend, you said, right?
Next weekend, I will be in Camelback.
Hanging around a good team.
It's the Dodgers are not we're talking about an iconic team in the making here. If they three-peat, think about this for a second, G. They will have won 4 championships in 7 seasons. And they will have won 26, 37. Let's say they avoid the wild card this year, which I think they will. So that's what, 12, 13, 26, 37. They will have won 48 playoff games to win 4 championships. 48. So when the Yankees went on their 5-peat in 49 through 54, they won 5 in a row. All they had to do was win 20 games. So Dodgers to 3-peat would had to win had to win 28 more games to win 3. Really, again, we're getting back to the comparisons of eras. You can't. It's just not fair for either club. But the Dodgers are, even if they three-peat this year, it's still not a book that's finished. It's not going to finish for a while. This team has a potential of probably winning in the Ohtani era. Right now, he's 2 for 2. He's got 8 years left. There's a very big possibility they're going to win probably 4 more.
I do remember the first time I went to a Lakers game at the LA Forum. Seats were not the greatest. I was actually we were near a post. You know that commercial that you see in the for State Farm, I think, with J.K. Simmons, where the guy is sitting in front of a post. That was almost us for my dad and I. I went to a few games at the LA Forum. It was always great indeed. I love the fact that they were collaborating with several grocery stores chains. You could get discount tickets, and that was always something my dad and I looked forward to, was going to the game. Drip Show shop says, Joe, got to get you the. Oh, absolutely. Well, there you go. We'll wear them. Absolutely. Drip Show is awesome. Again, for quality work that only you can get from him, can't get anywhere else. Like this Kobe pillow right here, Kobe and Gigi. You see the canvas arts of Luka and Kobe behind me. If you imagine something, you're thinking about something, and you just really want it on a t-shirt, hat, canvas art poster, or a pillow, go ahead and reach out to @Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Shout out to Pinty over in Germany. He says Vando, Hayes, Smart, Maxi must be in last defense. I don't know about Maxi. Again, the Lakers just don't have someone that is going to just do what you need to do on the defensive end as far as the big man is concerned right now. But I guess that would work, if you want to go ahead and do that. But they just it's what you can put the best defenders in there, Joe. But if they're just not coached well enough to understand, you have to be able to be close enough to recover on the shooters instead of finding yourself 3 players underneath going for the ball for the guy underneath and leaving men wide open. Doesn't matter what kind of defenders you supposedly have. It just shows that you just don't have the kind of coaching necessary to understand to stay at home. Stay at home. Tuesday, Thursday, the Lakers have a player that stays at home. We have a different story on both those days.
Sad. Bando didn't even play tonight, did he?
6 minutes.
So he didn't really play. And then we had DeAndre Ayton play, was it 26 minutes and gave us a whole 2 points?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Such a Clint Capella game, isn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah. He also said, Pinty, and again, thank you so much for your generous super chats. Truly appreciate it. He said, did not get the rebound again at 108, 108. Now, they only lost the rebounding battle by 2, Joe, but I think you made your point clear. They're not getting the rebounds they need at the time they need it. Thus, like we saw on Tuesday, when they lost that final shot with Wendell Carter getting that offensive rebound. Today, again, they did not get the rebounds when they needed them the most.
It's just the little things. If they did the little things, they would have won 5, 6 more games. It's that simple. Think about that. Think about it. Today was the anniversary of Falling Down coming out in 1983. So I thought about that. Remember there was a scene with, what's his name? With the gun shop owner. Think about it.
Oh, yes. That's a underrated movie. I would say that.
So it's a good movie to watch, to know that whatever you feel is going on now isn't new. I think people have prisoners in the moment mentality. There were a lot of people in the 90s. All you see right now is, oh man, I wish I could go back to the 90s. Things were so great. Watch Falling Down. A lot of the problems that were going on in 93 too, guys. It's revisionist history at this point. But yeah, it's a pretty vulgar scene, but funny.
Pinty says, bench Ayton, waive Maxi, and get Chris Boucher. I don't know at this point what he can really do, because the Chris Boucher that showed some kind of talent in Toronto didn't really get a chance to show it very much in Boston. But again, he probably would be better than Maxi. And at this point, Ayton, you never know what you're going to get. It's just like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get, Joe, with Ayton at this point. So why not? Why not sign Chris Boucher at this point? It's not going to make much of a difference, but Chris Boucher again could block a couple shots, get in there. You never know. I could hit a 3. So why not?
Bring him. Why not? Bring them all.
Why not?
Bring him. Sign everybody.
Yeah. Why not? Again, at this point, Pinty, I'm up for anything. Because we see it isn't working. What's there right now with the Lakers? So again, at this point, you're just looking to write out the string. I think at this point, they're telling you, Joe, in the post game press conferences, they're giving you all the athlete. I wish they would actually say what they feel instead of all these athlete vernaculars that they always throw at you. Because if you look at tonight, if you go on Twitter, you see the post game interviews with Marcus Smart and Luka Doncic, and they're just going to throw you out the same tired stuff, that you hear from every athlete after every game like this. I wish they could just tell you what they actually feel.
Well, if that were the case, it would. The certain guys on this roster can't handle constructive criticism or even being called out. So it's probably why it doesn't happen.
But why not get Boucher? Chris Boucher. You know what? Why not? Absolutely. I mean, at this point, you should try anything you can at this point. So why not?
I was waiting for the Bobby Boucher comment. Thanks, Drip.
Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time, indeed. Is Bryce even playing? No, Anthony, he was redshirted, and I'm not sure he was entirely thrilled with that decision, Anthony, but he was redshirted by the coach, whether he liked it or not. Why is Drew
Is Rich Paul gonna call out the AZ head coach now?
I don't know. Rich, with Drew, because he certainly hasn't qualified as far as the games are concerned, because they still have plenty more left. I'm assuming he was assigned to the G League along with Adu Thiero and of course Bronny. Those guys are at the G League, so I'm assuming he was assigned to the G League as well. But yeah, after playing a sparse amount previously this week, he was sent. And Vando was 6 minutes. Vando, I'm going to be honest with you, Pinty. We're not big Vando fans, Joe and I. So, I understand the metrics seems to like Vando, but the on-court product, when you see it, it's not quite as good as what the metrics say. This is the guy who will do something good 1 minute and do something bad at the next minute. So we're not the biggest Vando fans, but if you want to talk about defense, I mean, the Lakers held another team under their average, 113. The offense, Austin and Braun, if they have any semblance of a real offensive game tonight, Joe, we're not even talking.
I just think if they just had this one guy that could rebound, they would have won the last 2 games. That's it. So many offensive rebounds turned into 3-pointers. So many. I thought last game was bad. This was worse. And all that, and you lost by 3 points. A 3-point shot.
I mean, just to give you an idea, in that 6 minutes, Jared Vanderbilt was a minus 15. So maybe it just realized maybe one of the only things that JJ you give him credit for doing something good was understanding maybe it wasn't Jared's night. But yeah, 6 minutes, Joe, minus 15. At least it took DeAndre Ayton 23 minutes to get to minus 24.
No bueno.
All right. 3-point defense is horrible. Yeah, Pinty, but that's something that's taken place for all season. That's JJ's MO is he's willing. Certain coaches in this league are willing to give up more 3-pointers because they'll take their chances based off of what the stats say, the statistical analysis says. But in the closing part, when you have 22, when the team that hits 22 free 3-pointers on you, Joe, understand after a little while, maybe this is going to be their night. You might want to get closer up to them. You might want to change your defense up to prevent so many threes from being shot, Joe.
Why aren't they? Is it desire? Is it inability to do it? Why was Laravia so far away from his guy? Why did they all collapse at the basket?
They all did. They all did.
Yeah. Why? But you can ask that question even before then. How do you allow a team to shoot 50 3-pointers? 50. 50 3-pointers. There has to be some negligence there. It can't be just they're moving the ball really well. This team didn't even have arguably their two best players in this game, and they still were able to move the ball. They're just not. They're not. Whether JJ Redick can coach or not is not the point, and this goes for all the coaches that I've ever coached in the NBA. It's not just JJ Redick in 2026. JJ Redick is not able to get into these guys communicative wise. He's just not. Can't. He doesn't have it. And what was great about we were talking about Frank Vogel earlier because we were talking about defense. You know, the thing is, what made Frank Vogel so good, because I wasn't on the show during that time, so I don't have any record of being able to say, hey, look, I wanted Frank Vogel. I got in when he was getting treated like garbage by the team, and Russell Westbrook of all people too, by the way. Frank Vogel was the perfect coach for a LeBron James, Anthony Davis team. And I'll tell you why. Number one, LeBron James is Peyton Manning of the NBA. You don't need to have an offensive set for that guy. He was the set. And then Frank Vogel had his greatest anchor in Anthony Davis, and he had really good perimeter guys that could also hold their own. It was the perfect coach for the perfect talent of that team. And I remember vividly the people that did complain about Frank Vogel's, the offense is stagnant, the offense is this, the offense is that. Well, I get it, but Frank Vogel's not an offensive guru. He's a defensive guru. And you have Rondo there, and you had LeBron, and then you had, in my opinion, at that point, the best big man in the game who could score 25 and block every shot coming his way. All Frank Vogel had to do was put in a system that enhanced all of their ability to guard and stop. And then it was run and gun. Not a lot of thinking when it run and gun. Use your athleticism. Use your athleticism and timely shots.
Appreciate one last time. Appreciate Pinty with the super chat. One fake, one dribble, and you are open. How? Again, I think a lot of it is the scheme of the defensive scheme. Maybe it's the players.
It's the whole NBA. It's not just the Laker problem. Who's guarding? Who's playing defense against this three-point shooting culture in the NBA? Are people playing defense ever again? Because I really thought in 2020 that the Lakers had figured out a way. I thought they did. I thought they busted it. I said, man, this team busted the three-point era. But it lasted only a year and a half.
It's definitely a shame, indeed.
It reminds me of the Steel. Sorry, it reminds me of the 49er West Coast offense in the late 80s. They're running rip shot. Right, this is a rim shot, right? They're running rim shot. Is it rim shot?
And it didn't seem like it was that complicated of an offense, Joe.
Well, the thing is, when you have an accurate quarterback and everybody knows where to be, it becomes much easier for everybody because no one can catch up to it. The defense couldn't react. Although Dick LeBeau did create the zone defense to combat it, and he got close. If Lewis Billups doesn't drop that interception in the end zone in Super Bowl 23, Bengals might want to probably Bengals win the Super Bowl. But anyways, then the K gun came in, which was an offense that didn't let you breathe for a couple of years. But then the Giants were able to keep the Buffalo offense off the field virtually the entire time in Super Bowl 25. And even with that, even though the Bills only had the ball for 19 minutes, Scott Norwood just needed to go a little bit left, and they would have won a Super Bowl, and that would have changed history. God knows what would have happened after that had they, won that game. And maybe they don't go to 4 straight because the motivation played a big part in going to the Super Bowl every year as they lost. But the NBA, I'm gonna be sitting and waiting to see which team constructs the team that stops this 3-point culture. I'm curious to see if that'll ever happen.
We'll find out. But again, perimeter defense failed. The Lakers has 22 3-point shots and a last second 3 by Royce O'Neal put the Suns above the Lakers 113 to 110. They're now within a game of the Lakers in the Pacific Division and overall. So the Lakers are a game out of the play-in as they head to Golden State on Saturday, indeed. But thank you so much again to everyone that for stopping by, even the haters that came on earlier today. I think someone mentioned earlier in the show that said we couldn't go 2.5 hours based on the Lakers losing. Well, it's 2.5 hours.
Wasn't there a numbskull a few weeks back that said we only show up when the Lakers win?
Might have been. These losers are hard to track. They seem to just come out of the woodwork like roaches.
Yeah. They talk tough online though.
And if they said that, my problem. I'm hoping my response.
They have that going for them. They talk tough, and I go about my day in and day out. I don't ever run into any problems with people mouthing off to me. So it goes to show you that little screen that they hold while they're spanking their monkey with the other hand, that's their defense. They're sitting in the little room that they're in, and they're protected.
Thank you, Arcanino. Appreciate you stopping by.
Actually, Carino had a question about. I'll mention this real quick.
Okay.
I don't. There's a lot of restricted free agents in this particular the talent in terms of talent. A lot of restrictive free agents. So if we're talking about unrestricted players that would benefit this team, a lot of the free agents are going to be seasoned guys that are not likely going to be let's say a fourth guy on a title team with the Lakers.
Eason, Peyton Watson, those are the names that have been commonly mentioned as unrestricted free agents, as possibility that they are.
There's just not a lot of. There could be a plug in there that could help, but it's not just off the top of my head. I think obviously LeBron James, Middleton, Porzingis, Anthony Simons, Vucevic is going to be a free agent. Harrison Barnes is going to be a free agent.
Yeah, it's one of the weakest classes.
It's pretty weak from an unrestricted free agent standpoint.
Austin Reeves is the number one, head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah.
Whether we like to say it or not, but
Kelly Oubre will be a free agent. Maybe that could be somebody that would be a good role player. Could be.
I'm having my list. I'm actually.
And everybody likes Thibault, right? They've been yapping about Thibault. He'll be a free agent.
But the guy can't shoot. He
can't
score.
Help. Yeah,
he can't score. It's just Vando all over again. If you get him at the minimum, you get these guys that can't score but can defend. If you get them at the minimum, I'm cool with that. But when you spend Vando money on them, that's when I have a problem. When you commit to them for multiple years and they still give you 6 minutes and a minus 15 and nothing to show for it, that's the problem I have, Joe. That's the problem I have.
I think the focus right now with the Lakers, especially according to what they did here this last day or so, they're hiring of Tony Bennett, former Virginia head coach. They know that the draft is going to have to be a big part of their structuring of the title team.
And that tells me that they're more than likely going to utilize a pick than trying to bulk that with 2 other number 1 picks in a trade.
Yeah. Maybe they tell Nah, I don't know.
And they also might buy into the second round. They don't have currently a second round pick, but there are teams with multiple second round picks that they might be interested in. Who knows? There are some good second round guys that might fall in a deep draft. A lot of guys in the second round might be gettable, and if that's the case, they could actually do something right for once. Because, for instance, right now, Aduthiero is yes, he's been hurt, but that has not worked out so far for the Lakers. Again, there's still time for him to turn that around, but it hurts because guys drafted after him, like Maxime Ronald, when he goes off for 22 tonight for Sacramento, that was someone that we could have picked instead. And just these decisions that are made by Rob Pelinka time and time again, just the talent evaluation skills of Rob Pelinka is just, it comes back and bites you every single time. But
they're going to need. Yeah.
No, hold on, Best. Thibault averaged 40. How many games has he played? I know how many games he's played because I've already had this conversation. Don't throw 46% from three in his last 2 seasons. When you play no games, you're hurt all the time, and you don't look at his scoring average. Best. The guy is not offensively skilled. When you don't want to shoot the ball, when you don't score the basketball, you're not good on the offensive side. Don't try to cut it any which way you can. It doesn't work like that. Again, look at his career scoring averages. Look at how many games he's been available for. There's a reason why Portland dumped him.
It's too bad too, because he was doing really well in Philly at the beginning of his career. He was on a couple of all defensive teams too, second teams. It's unfortunate, but you're not going to have a lot of value when you're playing 15 and 7 games in 2 years.
Yeah, again, you cannot use that 46% again because that's 22 games in 100 and well, I guess not 100 yet, but
that's pretty bad. 22 games in 2 years so far.
2 years. It is over 100 games. Yes. So
yeah, you're at 82 plus 82. That's 164 games.
Well, not quite yet because of the season going on currently, but yeah, I get.
Yeah. So let's say he ends up with what, 22 plus what, 20, 42 out of the 164.
Yeah, best league, but he doesn't shoot the ball. His career high ever is 7.5 points a game, and that was when he only played 15 games. He does not want to shoot the basketball. It doesn't matter how efficiently he shoots it. We just talked about this with Kennard. If he doesn't want to shoot the basketball, then it doesn't really help you. Even when he was averaging 27 minutes a game, he was only averaging 7 points a game. So Best, you can throw out all those stats you want at me. The real story is told within there. You have to just look and understand. He is just not an offensive player. We are dealing with another Vando if you pick him up. But if you pick him up for the minimum,
nothing.
If you pick him up for the minimum, I'm cool with that, but no more than the minimum. You guys want to spend like 7, 10, 12, 15 million on these guys, and they're just, why? They don't play in the playoffs. You guys, all you worry about is the regular season. Ask yourself when you pick up a player like that, is he going to get substantive minutes in the playoffs? And when you come back to me and you say, Gerald, you're right, you'll understand. So there you go. But I appreciate everyone joining us. It is, of course, I don't want to pick on Best League. You already trashed Best League enough, so I don't want to pick on Best League too much.
Yeah, Best League just has a habit of going from best to worst regularly. It just keeps going back and forth.
6 points a game. True, but he makes an impact in the game. If Thibault made impacts in the game, Best, would he have been dumped by Portland? Ask yourself that question. When these guys are dumped, when these guys are moved from team to team, ask yourself why. Oh, but it can work out with us, Joe. It can work out with us. Luke Kennard is going to be a 15-point game player. here with us because I know it didn't work out with those other teams, but it's going to work out for us. Ask yourself why.
Intel, let's do Saturday. We'll do
There you go.
Saturday. Come to the show on Saturday. We'll have some shots.
You should meet up with Joe at spring training, my friend.
My birthday is on Sunday, so it'd be a nice, drinking eve time.
Arcarino said low-key it would be cool to go to a Lakers game with the chat. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Better do it this season.
Legend is on the East Coast. I don't know if he can do it. John could come down. He could make it work.
Better do it soon because the prices are going. We didn't even talk about that because you were not here that day that they announced it, that the prices are going up quite a bit for next season under Mark Walters' regime.
Yeah, I got to pay off that the Saudis
for. That's how you do it, Joe. That's how you do it.
Remember, guys, never use your own money. Not even to pay your bills.
How? What is the ratio of how much has gone up as far as pricing under the?
It went up. I think from what I saw, that wasn't it like 1,600. Went up to 9,300 for season tickets. I'm assuming probably the lower bowl area.
Yeah, but I meant for the Dodgers. How was it? Did it rise that dramatically?
I see. Most of my tickets are singular tickets, so I haven't really felt. And I always try to get the best seats anyway, so I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. I'm always spending at least $200 to $250 on tickets, even before Ohtani came, just because I like to sit closer to the field. Those tickets really don't ever change.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast
but
break.
The tickets did go up. Season ticket holders did pay it, and Dodger fans responded with having their first 4 million in attendance in a season. That's how much they supported the rate increase,
because they were always guaranteed for 3. But doing 4 is obviously a great achievement.
Oh, everyone knew it was coming this year, because you're talking about coming off a World Series championship. You're coming off what we all thought was going to be the greatest team ever assembled, but now it's 2026 that's looking like that, which to me, I can't in good conscience demand a three-peat. They had to repeat for them to be justified with this kind of talent and all this off-season maneuvering. But as good as they're set up now, which actually they're set up even better than they were last year, it's still baseball at the end of the day. And if they don't three-peat, you can't sit there and go, oh man, you guys really screwed this up. It's three-peats are impossible in any sport. When you read the teams that even Brady couldn't three-peat. And as good as Mahomes was, got close, couldn't three-peat. You got to be named Shaq, Kobe, Jordan in modern times, and Jeter and the Yankees to three-peat. You got to be iconic beyond iconic with the right team and the right timing and all that. It's timing and luck play into those things, man. So, but it'd be amazing, because it would. I mean, it's already pretty much stamped that this is the greatest Dodger era of all time. I wish we would have been able to get at least the 17th championship out of the deal. Would be nice to have kind of that 13-year window be a little bit more stretched out. But if the Dodgers three-peat and win 4 of 7, there's no more, not even a hint of denial of anything in terms of a legit dynasty.
Oh yeah,
and they're not done. They're not going to be done, guys. These guys, dude. If you've been watching the spring training games, man, I mean, you got some guys that are coming up that are going to really. It's not even fair. It's like drafting. It's like the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s when they were winning championships, and then they were picking first and second in the same year.
Absolutely. So again, we'll be back on Saturday. For those that are listening right now, I do have also on the way for you guys upcoming a conversation with Matt John that is already available on video on YouTube. So go ahead and check out my NBA observations with him. But that'll be coming up here in the not too distant future for the audio folks out there. But for us here, I don't know yet about the Lakerholics. I will schedule that as far as put that on the schedule. So look out for that if that comes about on Saturday at 11. And then after that, of course, Saturday at right around 8 will be the post game. Hopefully we can entertain you a little bit more, and hopefully we will not have to go ahead and continue to be frustrated and vent out again on
Well,
you guys seem to like it. We seem to get better numbers. Like you said, Joe, why would somebody see? That's when you don't know the channel. When you speak out loud, when somebody said, like, if you remember, you said you remembered that somebody said that we're only here when we win. And I'm just like, our numbers are better when we lose, Joe.
and our numbers
You
are
can look
better
it
when
up.
we turn the volume up.
Yeah.
The what needs to happen for LA to be considered title town besides the Dodgers winning? JY, it's already title town. You're talking about in this decade, you've had our good friend Son with the LA Football Club. They've won a championship. The Rams have won a championship in 2021. The Dodgers have won 3 championships in this decade. The Lakers won a championship in this decade. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, and then you're looking at 6 championships in the pro sports side of things. Yeah. That's 6 championships between the 4 sports.
It's not bad. Not bad for
Hell, even when LA had a drought in the 2010s, the LA Kings held their own a little bit to make sure that the LA had some positiveness, and those were some great hockey. But those 2 years and what the Blackhawks were doing around that time, it's pretty good, really damn good.
But we'll be back on Saturday night for your entertainment and hopefully listening and viewing pleasure. I want to thank Joe for stopping on by. Again, big shout out to Legend as well. Go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe to his channel, I Got Next Sports Media, and also go ahead and like and subscribe to the Experiment, Joe Soro Experiment as well. And if you see the artwork that's behind him and I, it's courtesy of @TripShowShop on Instagram and Twitter. Do him a favor, reach out and let him know what you're thinking of in sports or pop culture @TripShowShop on Instagram and Twitter. But we'll be back on Saturday night. Don't ever tell us again that we can't talk for 2.5 hours after a loss. Don't ever tell us that, because we'll do it on you. We'll do it on you and more. Right here. Coming up on Saturday. We might do it again, but we may not. But we'll find out right here Saturday night at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. What?
So, can the Dodgers and the Panthers three-peat at the same time? That's an interesting. I'm gonna look back and see what teams three-peated at the same time in the 4 major leagues.